And hello, everybody. Happy Saturday.
Hi.
We are Hard Knock Dice. My name is Jonesy, your dungeon master for the evening. And these beautiful people around me, sort of, at least like in this semicircle, I don't know. These people around me are your heroes for the evening and my best friends. Today we are going to continue across Eberron, but before we do, as always, if I can get an exclamation mark charity in the chat, we're raising money with Extra Life, specifically the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. So yeah, go save some kids, open your hearts and wallets to a really great cause. Thank you for that, Avocado and Night. Click on that link, do a really great thing, and yeah. So these heroes of Aether and try and be heroes of the world. But yeah, big quotes on those heroes and that hero part. Y'all do some questionable things.
Protagonists.
Who?
I've
never done anything questionable in my life.
The protagonist is dead. We killed him. As usual.
Have we been the bad guys
villains.
all along?
The narrative focal points.
There we go. I like that. Very neutral. So we're going to continue across Eberron. Any announcements? Anything happen? Anything big? Anything good? Anything bad?
Arizona hot.
Breaking news. Arizona is hot.
The desert is hot. Noted. Good job.
Who knew?
Just in.
I was shocked and appalled to discover.
Oh, man. All right. Well, in that case, last we left off, our heroes, the Shining Vanguard. Oh, if you do not notice, we are running a little bit light on heroes today. Heroes are dropping like flies recently, but no, we are missing a couple of people, but we're going to make it work. So they are not dead. As far as I am aware, their safety, they are safe and okay.
DM, tell them it was the special Patreon session where we killed off half the party and they're not coming back.
We don't have Patreon set up, so I can't do that.
It's the secret Patreon, okay?
Let's see, you don't have Patreon set up. Party member deathmatch Patreon is up and running.
Yo.
I think we can take donate to Extra Life, and that's your like if you want to see that episode. If depending on how much you donate to Extra Life, I'll kill them both off real quick. So donate to charity. Right. Kill players. Anyways,
pull up that link real quick.
So last we left off.
Save children and kill PCs.
Exactly. It's a win-win in my book. And I don't have to feel bad about it because the chat paid for it. All right. Last we left off, our heroes, the Shining Vanguard, vanquished their foe Yidril. After an incursion with his undead army on the city of Aether, Ganduin's hometown, Yidril, Kashik's father, Gorham's foe, they won. At a cost, but they won. They defended Aether. They now find themselves in Korth, the capital of Karnath, where they have met the king, King Caius III, who has given a speech. They had a feast in recognition of these heroes. The king did not mention our heroes, the Shining Vanguard, in his speech. However, he did invite them up for a quick chat. He wanted to talk to them, get to know them a little bit better. And in recognition of our heroes here has given them a reward, 3,000 gold each, as well as a parcel of land, their own little piece of Karnath somewhere, their choice. He has given them the villa to stay in tonight, and they have been shuffled away to the 16th floor, a very nice villa where plenty of room service. They are completely taken care of. Ganduin had a bit of a side quest meeting with a known, I was going to say accomplice, an ally of his father's. A gnome. No, a known. No, the only gnomes were House Civis gnomes that were kicked out of the villa for the Shining Vanguard. So they are somewhere else in the castle at the moment. Anyways, in the night, Ganduin met with one Pietro Rudic. In meeting him, Pietro tried to tell him that Well, there are rumors, and there may be some confirmed items that King Caius is not exactly King Caius, that Pietro was his father, was Ganowin's father's, Bestian's best friend. And after but a short conversation, a rather large gentleman, one king's guard, a personal guard to the king, walked in, confirming some suspicions that they were in fact being watched at the very least. This gentleman gave, this large hulking individual gave Gandalf a note which read, I don't remember the exact words, but essentially if you
Follow me.
But yeah, if you want to know everything, now's the time to learn about yourself and your past. Follow me, which Gandalf did. Got in on this horse with this gentleman, and Artyom followed, but fruitlessly, as they just sort of disappeared into a shadow. Gandalf went and had a conversation, revealing everything and coming back to his compatriots here, eventually in the towers, crown home, saying that he himself is actually the true heir of the seed of Karnath, that a tome of lineages was handed to him, and that his father was, while may have been taken the name Bestian, was actually one Eldwing Wynarn, and it had given him, in a way, that very name himself. So we pick back up, however, after the plan has been made, castle within a castle, with the magnificent mansion cast in here. Our heroes, after a bit of planning and a little bit scattered from my recollection, but nothing really solid drafted up, they went to bed, in which I asked for some wisdom saving throws. With those wisdom saving throws, Shining Vanguard, you're all okay. You get a full night's rest, and you wake up the next morning.
I didn't roll a wisdom saving throw.
What's that? Otto did not have to roll a wisdom saving throw.
Yeah.
Yep. So,
Yep.
you ever just go to say things as a DM and you're like, no, I'm not going to give them that. So, we're picking up the next day. There were talks last night in the Magnificent Mansion about rescuing the queen. Gandalf had brought up saying that she had been, I got to turn this music down. It's so fucking loud. Anyways, that the queen was pretty much being held hostage against her will. That King Caius was, if not one of the daughters of Sorakel, one of their lieutenants, and put into place. So we wake up the next morning now. At various times, you guys did stay up quite late last night with this planning, and also handing off the Tome of Lineages to the Meisters in the library, who said they would let the facts speak as they verified this Tome of Lineages, proving, or at least supposedly proving, that King Caius III was not King Caius III. So, you all wake up at various different times. Erish is not cooking, as different servants of sorts of the king knock on your doors, bring in breakfast made especially for you. Various breakfasts served in bed, if you would, if you did not sleep in the mansion. If you slept in the Magnificent Mansion, food is left out for you somewhere and your whereabouts are asked about. But other than that, Shining Vanguard, what are you doing this morning? You do know that the king is scheduled to be by your room sometime this morning, though you don't know an exact time. So you have some time this morning to yourselves. What would you like to do? Holy shit, that intro took forever. I'm so sorry. I rambled. God, that was awful. And so not succinct. Jesus. All right, well, y'all have the rest of the episode. I'm gonna drink my coffee now.
So you got 2 players to make up for, so you were just cutting into that time a little. Otto, as he does not sleep, will probably be the first one at the breakfast table, who will sit there and holding an aromatic cup of coffee, not eating.
Absorbing it into your olfactory nodes, right?
Smell it.
Yeah, he's getting that fragrance.
Sniffing.
Let's do a little bit. This
very similar.
DM, to clarify, did the Meisters indicate that they were going to contact us once they had reached whatever decision they had, or were we gonna have to like keep an eye on them or check in regularly?
They did not say. They did not seem very convinced when you handed them that.
Yeah, that's true.
So they said they would let the facts speak for themselves, and we kind of went to a montage of where they went to verifying things with different facts that were in that tome of lineages, like colors of hair and eye, and different sorts of handwriting, verifying handwriting from Meister's previous. So there's a lot going on down there that you can assume.
Busy dudes. All right. some good fellas, you may say.
Some wise guys.
Anyway, all right. So breakfast.
Yeah.
We have no clue when the king is coming. We just know he is coming at some point this morning.
Yeah, Pietro said late morning is when he was scheduled for here, so you can assume 10
late morning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anywhere from 10 to 11, most likely.
Okay. Oh boy.
So, Otto finds himself at the breakfast table where he cannot partake, with the exception of some sense.
That's awful. That's
Did
terrible
Otto
existence.
not go with the people during the night?
He did.
Hmm?
It's the assumption that we returned back to our quarters after dropping off the book. I believe we stayed down there to make sure nothing happened.
Yeah.
Because Otto cast alarm on the door.
Yeah.
That's right. Never mind.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I thought y'all were casting alarm on the door of the villa.
No. I think we cast alarm downstairs with the Meisters because we wanted to make sure nobody pulled up on them and went, "What are y'all doing?"
Okay.
I completely forgot about that.
So then I misunderstood
coffee.
where we left off then. So in that case, that leaves Gandalf, Crowley, and Otto. Where are you casting alarm at? So their rooms where you woke the Meisters lead sort of down in a common room, and then those doors lead into the library itself. They are working within their rooms, like bringing out different books and stuff, and if you guys are in that sort of common area where our wonderful old Meister Roderick had to use the lavatory during Crowley's conversation last night,
whatever the primary locations of egress would be.
So probably into the library itself, which there's 2 doors on either side. I'm sorry, a door on either side for a total of 2 going into the library itself. Did you sleep in here? You 3?
Yep.
Well, not Otto, but Gandalf and Crowley?
Correct.
That
was my plan anyway. Because they knew the Meisters had clearly knew the stakes of how dangerous this information could be, so I wanted to stick around just in case, so they would. I don't know if our presence would be threatening or a sense of security. I have no clue, but we're there.
So, Otto will have alarmed both doors, and we'll have the drone kind of chilling, keeping an eye on things.
Okay.
I mean, he's also doing it, but he has to be semi-dormant for like 4 hours or 6 hours.
Right. What about Crowley?
Yeah, Crowley will, be there. He'll rest. Sit probably on a chair, lean back. The mask just staring.
So an uneasy night's rest, but a night's rest you will get. You all wake in various states, drooped over a bench or sleeping on the stone floor, however you may find yourself in this area. You still hear a lot of talking and moving in the hallways above you. Different assistants walking down into the libraries. So, Otto, you will have your alarm tripped several times as various assistants just walk through the library and go and grab their grab different books that are and files that are needed.
Every time, just kind of like check the scene, return.
But you do come to.
I mean, we're not checking barrels up, Gandolin, but we are just.
It fucking wakes up like prepped lightning bolt. Oh, okay, you're cool. Never mind, my bad. Every time.
So, if there's nothing else you three are doing in this area, we'll cut away from you just for a moment and just check on our upstairs crew, which would be Artyom, Gorum, Erish, Mop, and Nilbo. Are you three sleeping in the mansion? Are you sleeping in the villa itself? And Koshik as well. So what are you doing in this area?
I think Artyom would sleep out in the actual castle somewhere with Erish. Get a change of scenery, as it were, and then eat a bunch of food. Got a carb up for the big day. Get that carb load going.
And you're down to 1 level of exhaustion now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so like for you guys, breakfast is served. You guys are taken care of. You are asked for any other needs or wants or desires for this morning. People are here and they are taking care of you. So if there is anything that any of you guys want, they are waiting on you hand and foot.
Cool.
Not then Erish, after sort of getting his breakfast in and getting breakfast for Mop, will get Mop ready for the day in his own little clothes and everything, and get the Battle Bjorn ready to go under his vest. Just in case.
I will inform Nilbo to prep the airship for a possible hasty
well, that's
departure
a good
from
point,
the city.
Actually. So everybody here chime in. Was Nilbo included in that conversation in the mansion? The planning?
Has Nilbo ever been in the mansion?
Well, that's up to y'all. If y'all would have invited him in, you knew. So, I mean, he was there. He was very readily available. The question is, did you let him in?
What are the details of the contract that we get with him? Is he complicit in all of our actions?
Gandolin doesn't know that.
Otto is basically composed of enthusiasm,
other
so I
people
will have no input here.
Sure. We can keep this motherfucker in there. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, if you don't want him in there, then he's not in there then.
Or Nilbo.
Okay, so so he's not privy to any conversations, but you tell him to have the airship ready for a hasty extraction. He says, "Something I need to be worried about."
Well, the guards might try to kill all of us before lunch.
Now, why is that?
Do you really want to know?
Do I?
If you know, then if someone makes a truth spell on you, then they'll know that you are complicit.
I suppose that's right, but
we're doing the good thing. Have you ever known us to do anything bad? Mostly bad.
Not bad necessarily, but questionable. Plenty.
Of course.
But then again, you don't inform me of those decisions either, so.
Well, you're just getting that much closer to us that you're knowing when things might be getting bad.
I feel the love.
I'll give you some money if you want.
I mean, you already given me money. You paid me a year's salary already, so. Tips are appreciated, though.
I'll give him 100 gold.
Holy shit!
Archie's big ballin'.
He takes a sip of his coffee. He's just like moving around in your gold stash and go to hand him some money, and you do that, and he just coffee. Airship will be ready to go. He pockets it and he says, "Should that be now, later?"
Well,
just when I see you ready to go.
I just woke up. I don't know if they're fighting right now, honestly. So just as soon as you can.
Surely.
Did we lose Otto? He was sitting awful still there for a few moments.
It looks like we may have lost Otto.
Oh, shit.
Otto's doing a quick reboot.
He blue screened.
Over.
He's just here to do.
What was that? James. Oh, there he went.
Yes.
Man, this is gonna be a rough boss fight.
Nilbo takes his 100 gold, pockets, grabs some scones, and then heads out to presumably the Stormbringer
Yeah.
to get it ready to go.
Nice.
When has Artyom ever kept any money that was personally his more than like a week?
It's true.
I don't know. Some point, maybe. Well, okay.
You three that are down there, just so you're aware, when you awake the next morning, you will see a couple of of the assistants come around to you, say the information is still being verified. They are taking it to some other sources to be arcanely inspected for manipulation, illusion, magics, and such. The book will be taken off of the campus.
To where?
To the Towers of the 12.
12. Just 12, not 13. Oh. They will see them promptly?
I don't know. Do not have that information for you. If not one of the 12, one of their disciples. Capable of magics we are not here.
Alright. I mean, at the very least, that means it's not in danger of discovery for now, so... Can I insight check this fucking intern?
Sure.
I can't trust anybody. 18.
18.
Yeah.
Then 18, you're sort of looking over him. He doesn't seem to be convinced necessarily that this situation has the gravitas that it does. He thinks that you see him look at the group of you and thinks that you just might be a group of crazies.
Okay, but I don't sense any deception about where they're going with the book.
Like
no. To the Towers of the 12 is where they are going with it.
Yeah, he seems pretty nonchalant about it.
Okay.
Yeah, but if he seems nonchalant about it, the inference is that they're going to take like a week to get there.
Or that he could,
he
tell
seems
somebody
nonchalant
else.
about it.
Yeah.
Welcome back, right. Auto reboots.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll come back if we don't hear anything soon, and just like as he's being so casual, keep your fucking mouth shut. Do what your bosses say.
I'm sure it's very secret. Don't worry, your secret is safe with me. And sort of like pats your shoulder.
I'm deciding to not be petty right now.
Impressive.
For now, we've got somewhere to be. I think, Crowley. Or Yuri. Me. Okay. I will take silence as yes, we do have somewhere to be. All right. Regulators, move out. They're signing Vanguard. Dang, whatever. Regulators is
keep off the street, man.
Let's go.
You guys going up to the room?
Up we go.
Okay.
I suppose so for now. For the moment. Because we know late morning sometime, and this seems like nobody is bothering this process, so. And apparently it's going to take a fuck-ass long time, so, that's fine.
Got some hefty information they're combing through right now.
It's a big book. I don't know how many words are in it, but, there's at least 12.
You will...
Somebody asked Ned Stark, how long did it take him to go through that book? About that long. Divided by, 6.
Weeks.
Well, he knew what he was looking for.
Yeah, but there were way more of these guys. And they've got magic, so,
They're going to get magic.
They got to start from the front to the back and figure
also,
out.
I showed them the page they need to look at. I showed them the important bit.
They were verifying the entire thing.
You got to verify from the front to know if the page that they're getting to is legit.
That's stupid.
That's why you don't get the big bucks.
I'm not some nerd. You're right.
He's a fucking prince, I'm pretty sure, or king or whatever. He's putting in all the big bucks.
That's not necessarily true.
I am in possession of the bucks.
Possible king.
I am a buck distributor.
Listen, just because you're a king doesn't mean you can't be hanged by the people and revolutions start.
They come for me. They gonna get it.
Up until how much HP?
I don't know. I feel pretty good about my odds for a bit.
Anyways, you guys go up to the top floor. Is there anything else anybody wants to do this morning? Before the meeting with the king, in preparation for the day in general?
Gandalin, did you make it known to the party of the king's weird actions?
It didn't occur to me. I don't know how relevant that would have seemed to Gandalfin's information. Like, yeah, he sleepwalks. I did not verbalize it in the session.
The dumbest motherfucker in the world.
Dog, he sleepwalks. Big deal. Who doesn't? Come on.
In my experience, people who ghost walk are usually possessed. Side eyes Gandalf.
Amen. Ghost walk. But no, I did not verbalize this. I'm not just gonna walk back on that and say I did.
Fair enough.
Anyway. We went there. Only other thing I want to do beforehand is I remember the plan of action was to see if Crowley could get a private audience with her. Perhaps also to see the first plan was to see if Artyom could mind meld with her to talk to her or whatever the fuck. If that failed, Crowley was going to try to get a private audience with her. And if that also failed, I was going to palm her a note. So I'm going to write a quick note.
Okay.
And keep it on my person.
All right.
Yeah, I'll ask a servant about what the queen's doing today, and if she would like to join the king when they come and speak with us, because she's a nice lady.
I have no idea what the plans of the king and queen are today. I'm not privy to such information.
All right. Who would have the information? Could you go get them or ask them?
Yeah, probably the concierge for the castle, Pietro.
Sure. Go get that guy.
Okay. She walks out.
I'm gonna look over at Erish. I'm gonna look over at Erish. Like, covered. Totally cool. Didn't even bat an eyelash. They're not going to think we had anything to do with that guy now.
You are the paragon of subtlety.
I think that was pretty good, yeah.
Eric should have to roll a deception check.
Our team automatically believes anything Eric says now.
Bullshit.
It's required. It's like a constant debuff.
Right. That person will not come back with Pietro, clearly.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I couldn't find it. That's crazy.
Well, after like 30 or 45 minutes, I'll like get another person. Yeah, could you go find this Pietro guy or their boss or someone who might know about the king and queen coming to see us?
Duh.
Okay. The other guy went to look for a PX or Pietro or whatever his name was, and never came back.
Peter.
They will look into this for you.
Thank you so much.
Also never comes back.
How many
Every single one of them.
Every 5
Every
minutes.
single one of them
service?
is. Oh, fuck.
The fucking lag is so bad.
Every single one of them is like a retail employee. They're all gonna go and be like, "Oh yeah, I'll look for that for you," and then you never see any of them again. It's gonna happen like 7 times in a row.
All right, now Matt, not Crowley.
So,
Go.
Oh, let me go find Pietro.
Oh, there you go. That's a good idea.
Oh, look, he was right here all along.
Anyway, so I guess we're just chilling, eating biscuits.
No more refining of the plan. I love it. All right. So in
I'd-
that case,
Do the rest of
Pretty refined.
do the book people come to the villa people?
What?
yes.
Okay. All right. So, did you do it, Galen? Is it confirmed?
They were really like. We will see if what you say and what this book is true or not. So they're looking at it, and I don't know. I really don't. They were like going through the whole thing. I mean, I showed them the important part, and they were like, "Oh, okay, we'll check this bit." They were like, "Nope, whole thing."
To verify the point Gandalf wishes to be confirmed, they have to verify the entirety of the book.
Oh,
Okay. Well,
that's
I mean, they had it there for hours.
Yep. And now they're They now said they're like making sure that there was no like magical done to it. So they're going to the Tower of the 12 to get either one of them or their disciples to check it for magical tampering. So at the very least, that means it's not here. So there should not be any immediate danger to those old guys.
They like teleported away with it then.
No, they are old guys, not magical of nature. They left with it.
So you took the only thing that can prove what you're trying to prove.
We are the only people that know, and if you recall, it should be pretty quick because the guy who gave it to me was one of those guys anyway.
Didn't that guy literally say like a breakdown of who the daughters were? Didn't he give us like a Cliff's Note of who the daughters were?
That was, I thought that was Otto's.
Correct.
That was Otto's knowledge of the daughters.
But did he share that, or is that just what he knew?
He did share it.
Okay. So great. So the three that can see if things from far off, she'll never know that.
They are watching. If they are watching, they'll be watching us, or myself probably, specifically. If they were going to do something about it, it was there all night in a dark place with a bunch of old people who can't defend themselves.
Right, and they could have just been waiting for you to hand it off to someone so that you couldn't defend it from being stolen. Gandalf, if you're going to run a country, you have to start thinking these things through.
I will pay somebody to do that.
Well,
I'll play ball.
Crowley, how could you let this slip through your fingers?
Yeah, it was Crowley's fault.
It was
But
time
anyway.
for Gandalf to learn a lesson.
Did nothing weird happened here, right?
So who did you? No, nothing weird happened here. But we should really find out where this book is at, because it's kind of.
Is the Tower of the presumably the Tower of the 12 is a pretty like big landmark.
Yeah, it's a floating tower in this city.
You know where this is going there. I'm just gonna point out the window at this giant floating tower.
It's a rundown motel on the corner of town.
Shit.
Just a blinking Super 8 sign.
It just says Tower of the 12.
Or Super 12, rather.
The O is just out. It's smashed. Yeah.
But so they're just going to take it. You're not going to escort it at all, or you don't have. Crowley has no magical spirits following it to keep safeguard, or
Is that something you can do?
there are little drone things like Milo used to do, following it to make sure it has no harm to it.
I can send my eye
Yeah,
for
do that.
like an
It's
hour.
fucking creepy as shit, but I mean,
I could follow it, but I would not.
We need Crowley here, though,
Exactly.
just in case. And it will be suspicious if any of us are absent from at least the beginning of this meeting.
I could send observation, but it would involve an investiture of resources.
What?
Okay, so how much gold do you need?
I meant more the magical reserves that power myself and my equipment. TLDR, he's gonna have to cast invisibility.
Oh.
Oh, wait. There's no time limit on the eye, actually. I thought there was an hour-long time limit on how long the eye could be a scout. But, I mean, we are also in the middle of a castle. I don't know how to get out there without, you know...
The limit is also your face when the king.
Yeah, I would have to do this the whole time. Like, yeah, I got punched in the face. Don't worry about it.
Or maybe you just had too much to drink. You got a terrible hangover.
Is there not a distance limit on it, though?
I think there's a distance limit on how hard.
I think it's 100 feet.
It says the eye also doubles as a gruesome scout for an... Oh, no, it does say for an hour. Never mind. Okay, I fucking skipped past the very last section of that sentence. But it does say, as an action, you can command the eye to crawl out of your eye socket independently of you. It's undead, 5 hit points, AC of 12, and a walking and climbing speed of 20 feet, and does not require air to breathe. Has dark vision out to range of 60 feet, cannot hear, and has a +6 bonus to dexterity stealth checks. Once used this manner, it can't be used again until the following dusk. No distance limit, just the hour-long time limit. Which still, which I guess it just like... It's just an eye rolling around on the floor.
It has like tendril type feet.
No, I meant like once the hour is up, if it's not back to me, does it just like? It's just my eye's just out there somewhere. Who knows?
It's got 5 hit points, so if somebody like smacks it with a newspaper
it will
real
die.
hard, then you just don't have an eye anymore.
Right.
What's even worse?
Is a newspaper an improvised weapon?
You're the really strong person with a newspaper.
they do 1 damage. They have to hit it 5 times in a row.
Hey, Gandalf, even worse than it just turning into a dormant eyeball is it doesn't change at all. It's just liberated. So there's just some little eye running around out there.
Shit.
Spreading the malevolence of the Delkir.
Yeah, it's fine. Just jumps in somebody else's head. So I don't think we have a valid way of following it, really. And like you said, some of us need to be here at least for the start of this.
Okay, well, do we know where it's at right this moment?
As big as this fucking castle is they're probably and as slow as those guys walk, they're probably still on their way out. They're not fast.
Are there any like connecting ways to this floating tower or anything like that to where these dudes are at?
Oh, this is not part of the of Crown Home. The Tower of the 12 is a completely separate building.
Right.
You could see it in the distance, probably. But
I thought you said that it was floating.
It is. Yeah.
Oh, okay. But
there's not like a big
No,
bridge leading from Crown Home to the tower.
No.
It is
I mean, like, it's a floating tower.
Yep.
But how do you get to the floating tower? Say you want to visit.
Sure.
Fly.
Good question. You'll have to go see.
Shit. I didn't realize their tower was floating. Otherwise, I would have asked the old guys, like, how are you gonna get there?
Okay. Shit.
Do you want this in the barrack?
Yeah, well, I would see in the barrack. I don't know how to get to the tower though. I just know it's floating in the sky. I don't know if they have like a lift thing like on the airship or if you have to fly to like a land. I didn't get a good look at it. Hey, just gonna get up and peek my head out the door. Hey, serve it, people.
Damn. Our team's getting real good at being rich.
You have one person outside of your door that's just sort of there to take care of you guys. Spins around. Yeah.
How do you get to the Tower of the 12? Say I wanted to go visit.
To go visit, you will need to, like, there is spectator circle. I could have someone take you down there, lead you that way.
Do I have enough time to go visit there before the king arrives?
High or low?
Always high.
We'll see how
That's
long
my
it
boy.
takes, everybody. That is a 10%, sir.
No. He's actually about to walk in right now.
God damn it! Stop it!
Sorry, my bad. Robbing you of your thunder. That's my thing. I'm a bad player. I'm sorry.
Just see him coming up. I'm like, oh fuck.
What time is the king supposed to visit you this morning?
In the morning.
Wonderful news. Probably not. We're almost at the afternoon.
Okay. If you had to give me directions, how would you get there? And once you were there, how would you, go visit the place? And I'm just gonna reach into and pull out a bat so that Barrett can hear these directions as well.
What?
I would probably have to write them down. You want me to say 3 rights, 2 lefts, 14 rights, another left? You're going through the streets of Kor.
Well, say I just need to get to the tower. How do you get inside of it?
Go down to the streets, look up. Go
And
that way.
You just go inside this tower. Once you get, it's in the air. How do you get there?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Okay. Well, I thank you for your help anyway.
Sorry, I could not be of more service.
No, you're good. You're doing a good job. Okay, bye.
Artyom let him down so gently.
Oriana's insight check.
It's just sitting, like, looking around the hallway, like, is this guy just standing here the whole time? Like,
Hanging
okay,
out.
bye.
He's chilling. Like a villain. Goodbye, Otto, once more.
Once again,
Otto.
Otto, I give you the salute of your people.
They've got a lot of updates today. They just keep patching Otto over and over.
Just look over, Otto powers off. Just
That means
playing.
Milo's working on him somehow.
Oh shit!
Oh, shit.
There's proof now. It's canon.
See
Remote
invisibility.
access.
Actually, that's a good idea. Anyway, I'm gonna cast see invisibility from the eye and look around.
Sure.
Make sure to see if there's any things watching us.
Roll sanity.
Nothing right now.
Well, that lasts for an hour, so I'm just gonna try to keep that up until the king arrives.
Okay. Not too long at all before you guys hear on the door, and a servant opens up. Lady and gentlemen of the Shining Vanguard, King Caius is introduced into this room. You have about 10 white lions, along with that come into the room itself. It looks like an additional 10 that wait outside. Also, along with those 10 white lions, King Caius III, Queen Etragani Weirdom, and a rather large knight in white and blue armor.
White and blue.
Different braided beard, not as quite bushy, but very well done. Still stands nearly 7 feet tall, rather large great sword on his hip, who stands behind them quietly. Queen Etragani sort of standing back, so you guys can conduct business. King Caius stepping forward, though. Shining Vanguard, good morning to you all. Steps around, sort of in his dressed down for a king attire of yesterday, essentially not in his armor that the costume department did a really good job on. Comes around, takes a seat. Sort of the large knight follows him about halfway into the room itself. So I trust you had a good night's sleep.
It was a very good night's sleep.
Wonderful.
I'm just gonna go ahead and go for it, and just send a message to the queen in their brain, and be like, "Hey, if you can hear this, bet your eyelashes."
Flutter your eyelashes at us, Alex.
Come on, Alex.
Hey. Jesus Christ.
Hell yeah.
You see a bit of like just a quick confused glance, but she bats her eyelashes.
Hey, are you being held here against your will? You can respond back. In your brain, not out loud.
Fear fills her face a bit of like, just because that is the coldest entry. Like,
Total smooth.
You're terrible.
Of course not. I am Queen of Karnath.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I guess we want to rescue you then. That's cool.
What is the meaning of this? She like starts scanning the room. And then looks at you staring at her. Are you okay, friend? King Kaya speaks up.
I was gonna say, while all of that's going on with Artyom, Otto, good morning, Your Majesty. How very nice to see you again. We had a wonderful evening. How are you doing this morning?
I'm all right. I'm doing well.
That is fantastic to hear.
Indeed. So we'll cut to the king's conversation and then back to the mental conversation going on across the room, so I don't have to swap back and forth. But we will say Artyom is holding the conversation with Queen Etragani right now. I'll say that Mop sort of gets up and scatters over to Queen Etragani and like holds his hands up to her and pauses the conversation for a second. Says, "Oh, hello," and picks him up. You're and like picks him up and holds him there and has a quiet little conversation with him. King Caius looks at you all, opening his hands. So, has a decision been made about the land?
I'm busy. You guys have to have this conversation.
So I was just gonna ask, who was in possession of the folder he had given us? Was it Yuri? Did Yuri hold on to that?
Yeah. Erish was doing it.
Yeah, Erish was doing it.
Erish hands the folder to you all.
All right, I'm gonna look over it again. Just I'm flipping through the pages. Dio, what are we looking at again? There's one in the city, right? There's a lake.
No, 3 parcels of land. One to the north of Karnath, that is beachside, or one to the north of I believe it's the Reckonwood, that is beachside. One that is on the Ice Top Mountains, that is mountaintop, and then one on the edge of Lake Dark. So lakeshore property.
I was prone to either lakeside residue.
I think we had said the lakeside one sounded the. It was the most central, and
lakeside.
We could figure out what we were gonna do with it later.
Right, it was closest to Krona Peak, and also had a lightning rail that went nearby it.
Yeah. What was the full name of it again? It was just lakeside, or
that was just like I think that was just kind of the description.
There's no name of it.
Okay.
It would be up to you
now
to name it.
Okay. Your Highness, I spoke with them. They are a little shy this morning. I do not know why. They're usually so vibrant. The lakeside property, sire.
Absolutely, Lake Dark. Okay.
Sounds picturesque, Your Majesty.
Have someone start drawing up the documents. We will sign it over to our wonderful allies, the Shining Vanguard. It's excellent to hear. So, now that the business is done, what else are your plans here for today and for the foreseeable future? I trust you slept well. The villa treated you nicely.
I did not sleep, Your Majesty.
No, you did not sleep?
Never do, Your Majesty.
Ah. I envy you then. It is very useful. Sounds like, at least.
I'm not sure. Dreams sound quite fantastic. Sometimes I wonder if I'm missing out.
Cano's just sitting there, get the butter playing in his head.
Yeah, he goes.
My rest was interrupted a little bit by an old war wound, but one of your Lions Guard was kind enough to escort me to the library so that I could read while dealing with the pain. Your library was quite magnificent, Your Highness.
Indeed. The best in Karnath, for sure. I was not aware that you were injured.
A long time ago. It gets precariously more disturbing the longer I live, apparently.
Sorry to hear.
As
Pardon the interruption, Your Majesty, but is there anywhere where I could witness some higher class of music? I've been exploring the Karnathi musical traditions.
This guy just interrupted the king to be like, "Hey, you know any good local bars?"
You know where I could find some music?
Yeah.
Bro, you like Creed?
Oh, no. Oh, sick, bro.
Also, I apologize in advance if this room I'm in is like super echoey.
That fits the villa that you're in as well.
Unacceptable.
Arno's about to hit him with the, "What's your favorite color?"
Hey, don't tempt me.
The last time it echoed this badly, Milo died.
I'm not big on the arts myself, but I'm sure that I could get one of the servants here to point you in the right direction.
That would be much appreciated, Your Majesty.
Of course.
Thank you very much.
So, what are your plans for next, I suppose? Well, I am not trying to rush you out to the villa. You cannot stay here all the time. So, what is next for the Shining Vanguard?
I'm gonna go listen to some music, as suggested by your servants, Your Majesty.
The Major's just going to look expectantly over at the Shining Vanguard, because I have no idea. Let me hear what the Shining Vanguard is.
Fucking Crowley. I believe the plan is to continue bringing attention to the threat discussed with you previously.
Right, Zoria.
Yes, those in power gain cooperation.
Where to next then?
I believe the exact destination had not been settled upon quite yet.
So, going with just your gut at the moment, or do you have any leads for the next? Have you spoken to any other world leaders about this? In Corvair or otherwise?
Yeah, we popped right over to that other continent. I can't remember the name of it. We were just, yeah.
Edar, Solona?
I believe that is
Jindrik?
the plans for Korth before our departure. Is to see where we'll be best served and the easiest to sway.
It is difficult to determine which kings, queens, or other leaders will actually allow us an audience. Furthermore, after we have an audience, how difficult would it be to get them to take our claims seriously?
Yeah, that does seem like a bit of an issue, but if you rescue one of their cities, hey.
No big deal. Yeah, easy enough. Though I believe, I'm just gonna kind of glance over Gorm. Is there any notification that of your success that needs to go to your father or any other of your people?
They will know. But I probably should go there at some point. No rush at the moment.
So it is open then.
It is open.
Solidified plans.
Sort of now.
It makes it difficult, not knowing where you are going next. I would not be able to, if I did have political sway, to go assist. So,
a rushed planning phase will only have a negative outcome.
This is always true.
It's the stupidest thing Otto's ever said.
So, if you do decide and make a plan before you do leave out of here, let me know. Or at least some of my people, and I may be able to get word to someone else. I don't have great relationships with some. Sort of takes a brief like breathe in before he says some, which carries a lot of weight. But I do have alliances elsewhere that may prove to be useful. And as I said, you have been an ally to Carnath. I will try to repay the favor. I do plan on still speaking to the 12 as well.
If they will hear you, that is.
Yeah, at least their advisors will. I know I can get an audience with them. It's not every day you hear about invasion of another plane from plane of tentacles and eyeballs, so perhaps they will.
Not every day, and not every year, or even every century.
Duh.
It does occur to me that we had poked around a little bit prior to coming to the feast that not just magical in nature, but most arms and armor had been collected, it would seem. Are there any that are in your holding that perhaps we could purchase from the crown, if we were allowed?
And say, hey, you got any loot?
Yeah, basically. I mean, we were told that they got taken off the streets for efforts of, anti-terrorism and stuff. So I'm like, the crown might have them. Who knows?
Well, I do not know where they are personally. I'm sure that someone in my guard could point you there to something. Yes, that is true. We had a lot of it taken, some of it shipped to Reckenmark, some of it still probably here in Korth. So between the two, I am sure I can get one of my guard here to lead you somewhere. Is there something specific you are looking for?
Just gonna glance at Gorham again.
I had been looking for some new armor.
Well, I will give this information to one of my guard. Have someone come back to you if they find anything that might either fit you or via magical means. I do not see why we may not continue this wonderful relationship.
Can never be too careful. Never know who may be seeking to interfere. Also, question. Did I see anything strange when they came in since I'd seen invisibility up? Like no like hidden guards or anything like that?
You don't see any hidden guards, no. It seems to be very upfront with what the force that the king brings with him. So
okay.
Yep.
Okay. So nothing, no like nothing watching the king, like no. What are those called?
Not that you see.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm sure that it is easy enough for us to relay an intended destination once we have settled on such.
Cut. Go back a couple of minutes to a mental conversation going on. Etrigani holding up mop in front of her face now to sort of have a conversation with them, but also cover up any sort of facial expressions that she might be giving herself away to, because she's having a mental conversation. But what did you say last?
Oh, so I guess you don't need to be rescued then.
What do you mean?
I was told that you're being held here against your will, that this king is not the real king or something along those lines. We don't have a lot of time, so... Clap, clap. Out with it.
If that was true, and I am not saying that it is, then I could not leave my people here behind under a false king.
That's part of the whole situation. Already taken care of.
How so?
They found someone who's not the poser.
Found someone that's what?
Not a poser.
Not the hoser.
Not the hoser. They found someone who's not a poser.
So your plan is what? It's just still sort of bouncing them off in her hands and talking to him out loud in between.
We're going to get proof. It will be concrete, and we'll see what happens from there.
And where do I come into play with all of this?
I'd like to make sure that you do not get harmed at any point in time.
Okay. So you plan to what? You plan to not have me harmed. That is wonderful news. That is not much of a plan.
What is holding you? What are the defenses that keep you at bay, or that?
A long pause as she considers, because answering that question, which she would have to confirm something, sort of a mental sigh. I am observed constantly, 24/7, by the King's Guard, by the White Lions, and the will of the King.
Okay, what is the will of the king?
His will.
Oh, okay. You people in here say things like there's, something like a statue or something inside of your bedroom or something, that if you try to go out, it'll zap you with its eyes or something. The will of the king will disintegrate you or something like that.
Do not know. I have not attempted before.
All right. Well, I don't imagine the king's going to be too happy about any news of there being a new king. How do coups generally happen? Not the bloodshed, right?
I am not a historian. I do not know.
Well, you're going to be in history whether you like it or not. So
that sounds like a threat.
Well, you don't have to be queen. Oh shit! I guess you wouldn't be. Well, it's we're going to save you. You can go back to your people. I don't know. Other person might want you to be queen, or like, I don't, a bro or something.
Who is this other person?
That seems dumb to tell you. What if they can read your mind or something, or make you tell them things that you hear?
Fair.
So, just guards then? No traps, no magical compulsions on you, no putting you to sleep, anything like that?
I have not been put to sleep that I am aware of. No magical compulsions that I am aware of. If I was under a magical compulsion, how would I know to tell you? Or how do you know that I am not giving this information away right now as we have this conversation?
I don't. That's why they're having a conversation with him right now.
Right. I don't know.
Okay.
As far as I am aware, no. It is
all right.
All physical protection.
These big fellas, what are they? Big blue white guy there.
Yeah. I wish I could tell you. I don't know what they are.
All right, you're
they're not human.
Okay. Well, shit, yeah. Does your king's done anything weird or special, or you seen any powers from him or anything like that?
He commands a room whenever he walks in. I don't know if that is his power. I have not seen him do magic before, no.
Okay. Have you ever seen him get like a paper cut or a bloody nose or anything like that? Sick day?
Sick day?
Yeah.
Nah, he only gets 3 a year. Gotta be really careful.
Bad hangovers, anything like that?
I've seen him cut himself before. He is playing around with a sword, and he is not a talented swordsman. He ended up cutting himself.
Okay, cool. That's good to know. So this guy is just like a patsy then. He's just a very good politician.
So it would seem.
Okay. Well, you, any other things that you would like to add to this conversation before it is over quickly?
I would like to know any sort of concrete plan, structure of what you plan on doing.
Like, we really don't really do plans too much.
That is terrifying, and I am very worried about my safety right now.
Right, we're going to make sure that you'll stay safe.
I don't believe you.
Well, we saved the whole city like 2 days ago, and only I died in the group, so...
Silence. Just fucking silence.
I wasn't shapeshifted at the time, so... In any way. Do you know anything about the magical defense rooms that are near your bed chambers?
There are areas where magic will not happen.
Okay.
It is from what I know, it is to prevent people from going in or out magically.
Yeah.
The doors themselves also seal magically.
Have you ever been like locked in or mistreated or anything?
I've been locked in before.
Okay. Well, let's put it into that. I realize I've terrified you, but this is valuable information you've given us so we can have a better plan to make sure you're safe.
Should I be on the lookout for anything or any other information?
If someone comes and starts kicking the shit out of all the people outside your door, I don't know. Don't try to fight them.
Okay.
Mental shrug.
Very well.
Okay, thank you. That's in the conversation.
She will respond once more back to you. If you choose to do this loud without planning, the city will collapse on you.
Right, I know. We're trying to do it without anyone getting hurt. Except for us, maybe.
Let's hope it goes better here than it did in Aether then.
Nah. Still won an Aether, though. I mean, Pyrrhic victory, but we still got that dub.
Okay.
That's out of character, of course.
Right.
All right.
Are you? King Kai sort of waves his hand, like in
Yeah.
your. You okay there, Artyom?
Mushrooms. I was doing some mushrooms.
You are on drugs right now.
Yeah. Well, it's not drugs, it's just mushrooms.
You and I know of different mushrooms. Roll deception for me.
Yeah, I got this.
You know, it's an anxiety thing. You know, it makes him
4.
helps him relax.
Deep purple eyes just sort of narrow and look you over. Right. Mushrooms.
Have you ever tried mushrooms?
Only the kind that I put on my food. Nothing mind altering. I like to stay sharp.
Insight check.
Sure, go for it.
That's actually pretty good. 24.
Seems to be telling the truth.
Oh shit, this guy's straight edge as shit. Except
I
for
don't
the whole.
believe him.
Okay. Well, I could grow some for you real quick if you like. It's pretty fun.
I am okay. Thank you, though. I do appreciate it.
Just between me and you, you're the king. You can live a little bit.
I live every day.
Okay. So yeah, the lakeside water is nice.
Documents will be drafted up, dropped off to you. My signature are already on them, sending them over to the Shining Vanguard. So.
Oh, sounds great. How long can we stay here? We're good for like next few days, or?
Sure.
Okay.
We can make this happen. I do have a couple of folks from House Civis I would like to get back up here eventually to smooth over relationships, but a day or two should not harm anybody.
Cool. It's a really great place you got here.
I agree.
DM, I have a question.
Yeah.
I would have been kind of like, trying to keep up the conversation with the king, but whenever the king started kind of like talking to one of the other, the other members of the Vanguard, I would have been kind of trying to cut my eyes over to Queen Etragani. Mm-hmm. Could I read anything of the mental conversation? I can't exactly ask Artyom, like, how's it going, champ?
Give me an insight check. Make it a disadvantage. She's using the mop to cover her face.
Damn it, mop.
She's using the mop to cover her face.
Damn it, mop. I need mop vision. I need to be able to see through mop.
Toss your eye at her.
I don't think that's wow. That's bad and worse. Well, I'm dropping an 8 for a 6
okay.
for a total of 14.
14.
Yep.
Let's see. There are moments during the conversations where her eyes grow wide in worry or concern, maybe.
Oh jeez.
But she quickly plays them off as like almost baby noises to Mop. Though she's not making baby noises. She is speaking Goblin.
Oh
shit.
Oh, can I hear what she's saying by any chance? To him? I do speak Goblin, I'm just curious.
You speak Goblin?
Saying, fuck, 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 we're all gonna die. Fuck, 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 we're all gonna die.
Or she just being like, oh, what's your name? Like little kid. Like she's talking to a child.
She's keeping the conversation quiet, but give me a perception check.
All right. 23.
23. Sort of listening in the moments where you would like to ignore King Caius, and listening in this conversation, and in the moments between the moments of worry splashing across her face, you hear her asking Mop, well, you don't look like any of these. Where these guys? Where did you come from? And Mop gives her like sort of an explanation of running away and the pretty much the basics of what he is not lying to her. He is telling her the truth right now.
Like, these people kidnapped me.
No.
Found me stashed away on their boat. They just took me and just never let me go.
No. He's given her the same story that he gave you guys, that my parents told me to sneak onto this boat. I did. The boat flew away with me on it, and they've been. It's like, oh, is that true? Have they been very, very nice to you? And he says, yes, they've been very nice to me and taking care of me. And she like straightens up his collar, and they gave you these clothes as well. And eventually, like, just seems like checking on his well-being nearly, and Mop is very complicit in the conversation, so just very open and very honest with her. But yeah.
Is he stealing anything from her?
No.
Okay, just making sure. He has been kind of grabby in the past, like for trinkets.
Earrings gone.
No, he is not grabbing anything from her. He seems to be wrapped up in the conversation.
Eric's done a great job. All right.
So, if no one else has any other conversation, for the queen or anyone else in this room.
Not until they're about to depart.
Well, that's about to happen because no one's talking.
Yeah. I don't have anything else to say to Caius. Fuck that, man. But
oh, go ahead.
Were you about to do anything?
Yeah.
And some kind of mental stuff? Do whatever. Oh.
I was just gonna talk to the king.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, do that.
What do kings do for fun?
Whatever I please.
What do you like doing? In stories, I always go hunt boars. That's the only thing I know.
I think I've read this story. I don't think it ended well for the king.
Yeah, that's a pretty bad example. My apologies.
Hey, boars are people too.
Oh yes, he has a boar companion.
I do not hunt boars, if this makes you feel better. I'm not much of a hunting type.
Do you drink? Or play games? Gamble?
I partake sometimes.
Eh? Okay.
I am a very busy person, so...
Sure, I understand.
Takes a lot to run a country, not a lot of time for hobbies.
Okay. Well, that sounds like no, I don't want to hang out with you guys, so I'll take the social cue and let you get back to your busy day.
Busy day indeed. If I do not see you again, Shining Vanguard, it was a pleasure. So, stands up. If there is nothing else, takes his leave.
We appreciate your time and attention, Your Majesty. Thank you very much.
I'm going to miss you.
What was that, Gary?
Well, just said Major is going to bow King out. Because they're talking about Shining Vanguard, not Major Yuri, man. That's all I'm saying.
True. Gandalf is basically just the bare minimum of respect for Caius that is necessary, but he will intentionally looking at the queen give a bit of a half bow, just intentionally feeling your grace.
She'll bow back to you and drop a word of encouragement to Mop and Goblin, and we'll put him down.
When they're all starting to file out to leave, I want to send Big Blue there a mental message going, "Hey there, fella."
You get nothing in return.
Does it seem like it goes through? Like any eye twitch or anything like that?
You can't see his eyes.
Oh,
God damn it!
Any beard twitch?
Beard twitch? Give me
is he like Cadbury Bunny it up for a second?
Insight check at disadvantage.
Does he do that thing? You know how people talk about wiggling their nose? Instead of wiggling his nose, he wiggles his beard.
I got a natural 20 and a 13 for a total of 18.
18. There is a slight pause and look around, and he walks out.
That's weird. How strange.
Okay.
After they've all shuffled out, the immediate turn and look at Artyom and just...
Okay, everyone, let's go into the mansion.
The mansion's still there. We just haven't. We just
it's like a fucking door over
here. Otherwise, they're just walking. There's just a door floating.
Activates the mansion after they're all gone. Let's go.
Okay, so after we're inside,
yeah.
So I talked to the queen in her head, and she says that basically the only means of defense that she knows of are the Lion's Guard and the Royal Guard, giant dudes, and the anti-magic runes around their place. She said she has been locked in the room before, but otherwise hasn't really been mistreated, and fears for her people if she tries to escape. The kind of the vibe I was getting is that you guys are a bunch of fuck-ups that are going to get me killed trying to save me. I don't know why, though.
Why would she get that feeling? What did you say?
I was just saying that we were trying to rescue her, and then I didn't have a plan, so...
Did she, like... We do have a plan. What the fuck, man? That is part of the point of talking to her, was so we could get the plan with the information of, like, did she say, like, where is she gonna be throughout the day?
She says she's going to be in her room.
That's it?
Well, she says that that's where she's going to be most of the time, that she gets locked in there. She has before.
Do we know if we destroy the entire castle, if the remaining anti-magic areas will remain?
No, Otto, no. You're not doing that. Fuck.
You can rebuild the castle, Galen.
But
he is correct.
Oh my god. That would cause so much destruction. We would definitely be getting murdered, or murdering a bunch of innocent people in the destruction of the entire castle. This place is over 16 stories high. I don't think we're even at the top.
It would be less high if we destroyed it.
Yes, Otto. Thank you.
I didn't get information about her itinerary.
Jesus Christ.
But I got the information that she does seem to be in need of a rescue, but that I kind of got the vibe.
Know where she'll be.
Right. I kind of got the vibe that she felt like we should probably have, a way of actually proving that you are who you are before we try to.
She is part of. Did you not tell her that her being able to be away from Caius, she was part of that plan? Being able to go, hey, I have been held captive for all of these years by a guy who's not actually the king. She was part of the plan.
Well, we know that that's for sure now. Of course she'll do.
Right, but we did you tell her that the part of the point of freeing her was so that she could, like, attest to this being the truth?
No.
Fuck!
It was a long night. I was very tired.
You went to sleep.
I was dead. Okay.
Yes, so like most of us we've all died. What's the fucking?
Well,
big
then
deal?
you'll get what I'm getting at. Then.
Yeah, you've slept for like.
Is that a threat?
What? No. It's not a threat. All right. So she's going to be in there. We can bust her out. It'll be fine. She'll attest to being held captive, and everything will be okay.
I mean, it's sort of, we will have to, if that is the only place we know where she'll be, we'll have to see if there's another entrance, and if that entrance is somehow not guarded by a giant.
Hold on, I'm going to run outside of the
mansion.
The mansion, and to the door, and I'm going to say to the queen, will you attest that you're a prisoner? Yes or no? Because it has a range equal to my level in 10 feet. She's within 140 feet still.
Slams into the wall opposite of the corridor.
Turns out she made it out the door and just hauled it.
If you are still alive by the end of it, I will.
God fucking damn it.
Thank you. She said yes. She'll definitely attest to it. She said once everything.
So when we free her, so she's understanding that getting her free is so that she can safely do that.
Yes.
Can I insight? Like, is it possible to insight against like Artyom's understanding of a statement and what the words that were spoken to him were?
She said that she'll attest. All right.
She'll detest. I don't know what that.
She will testify.
Whoa.
Whatever the word is.
All right.
Bingo, we got it.
So what is the plan going forward?
Fuck.
Well, those guys say, hey, Gandolin's the king now, and being the one.
I don't know if that is quite how that works.
Well, I mean, we can write some letters, and I can get a bunch of like birds and stuff to drop them all over the city so everyone knows that you're the king at once. We have like proof.
How resourceful.
while Gandalwin's in the city, you're going to do this?
Well, I mean,
in the potential clutches of anyone willing to get rid of it.
So we're wanting to take the queen and spirit her away, and then tell everyone in the city, this person who just ran away is your king, and they'll be like, oh yeah, well, let's just throw this guy out. Like, what is the actual plan here? How do you take over
I mean, other than outside of just trying to be like, yeah, and trying to get the people to insist on this over, we would have to capture Caius himself.
Okay, so why don't we just go do that? There's only like 20 fucking dudes in here, or set those guys on fire, and we can jump with him out the fucking window.
Shit. But we also do not know what those big guys can do either.
Sure.
And clearly they must be just as threatening without magical shenanigans, because they're just hanging out in front of the door, standing in the anti-magic zone.
That's true.
Also, quick. I know this is outside. I may have written it down somewhere else, or I may be missing it. Does anybody have the notes on what was written around the well that is here within the mansion?
I do not remember.
I do not.
I remember it being about something about somebody worthy or something. I can't remember exactly what the wording was. Also, I couldn't remember if it was spoken or if it was. I guess I could go look and see what the writing was.
For knowledge sought, that which is difficult to find, call forth her name, Hectula, the bloody scribe.
Hectula, the bloody scribe.
Sounds like a heckin' bad idea.
You're a bad idea.
Okay. I'm confiscating your speaking privileges.
Listen.
And it didn't work last time. I remember somebody tried to speak into it last time. It didn't work.
You did.
I did. That's right. Oh yeah, because everybody else is a bunch of babies. Nobody else wants to do it. Bunch of cowards.
Everyone else was sensible.
That's stupid. I'm sure Bloody Scribe is just like. I'm sure it's not actually like bad.
Sounds friendly.
Yeah.
You think you should dive right in?
Okay. So there's a. We either. I mean, honestly, if we.
So that was a pretty quick meeting. We could probably go find where that book's at, hang out with it some.
Make sure it's going to be fun.
Yeah, when it gets confirmed, then we can talk to some folks that confirm it with magic and be like, hey, you're a member of the 12 house tower things, and then there you go.
It's Tower of the 12. I think it's fairly straightforward.
Tower of the 12.
Label.
There you go. One of the 12 guys gives it a thumbs up, and they apparently don't give two shits about the king anyway.
Or at least they don't want to talk to him. I mean, like I said, I feel pretty confident that they must have sussed out that he's a fake, and that's why they don't want to talk to him.
I also know that this guy, like, apparently, I don't think it's one of the doctors that's doing this stuff with him, because I asked if he was like, I asked some questions of the queen if he had like ever, got the paper cut or got sick or something like that, and she said that he did like hurt himself playing with a sword. So I don't think that this is like a, like a troll being
right
disguised as a dude. It's just some guy.
That will make him easier to dispatch of.
Fuck. God damn it, Otto.
Yes, Uncle Gandalwin.
Chill out.
I am very relaxed right now.
You're up here. I need you to bring it down with the, like immediate. I am very concerned that the next time you see him, you're just gonna try to kill him.
And I cannot make myself any shorter, Uncle Gandalwin.
For fuck's sake.
All right. So,
okay.
So what do we just want to grab both of them at the same time? That seems to be like a better idea.
I mean, I think if we try to snatch the king, there is going to be no escaping. Probably what is going to turn into quite a melee.
Okay.
I don't think I feel like keep like too many things could go wrong. In that scenario, the queen, she could become like hit by stray magics from some of us, or a blade or an arrow or something could catch her. They don't think that is worth risking.
We absolutely cannot risk that. Also, if you were to abduct the king and the queen at the same time before the book has been confirmed, then there's a possibility they'll throw it out entirely without looking at it, as they would want nothing to do with us. And they won't believe anything that would have come from our hands. It'll just be thrown to history.
Cool. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, let's just go get her right now then. Why not?
Go get what right now?
Go get the queen. We can just go get her right now.
Except we don't know where she's about to be.
She'll eventually go to sleep in her quarters.
It's like 12.
She'll probably be going to eat then. Obviously, we don't want to grab her there.
Right.
I don't know where she's going after that, but I feel like you could, by process of elimination, find out where the king and queen are in that case. So. Like, there's the place with all these fucking guards all over the place.
Right. I think the easiest thing will be when she's separated from the king. I think it was a good point is made. We don't want to leave too much time between action. We want to get her so that we can get her separated and safe, as well as ready to be able to safely attest to the truth of what we are doing, and then the king.
Who is she going to attest to? Right?
Us. Okay. That she's going to attest that she has been imprisoned by a false king against her will for the duration of his rule.
Okay. But I mean, what, were you just going to stand there on a podium in the middle of the street and let everyone know this is?
Fuck's sake, man! Basically, the people we have to convince are the people that are going to try to murder us.
Right. So
that we need, because the White Lions, their whole thing is keeping, the king's law and peace and everything. We need to make sure that we should probably find out who's the leader of those guys and where he's at. Because if he gives their orders, as long as depending on how, I feel like they're supposed to be pretty loyal to the actual king. And if they goes, oh yeah, he is a fucking fake.
Yeah, let's go talk to that guy. See, that's an actual plan.
There you go. We gotta find out.
The what?
Go ahead. Sorry.
Let's go find Mr. Lion Man.
Sir.
We have no notion which other employees or service members. That's the wrong terminology. Which other staff or guards, or perhaps plants? Could the leader of the White Lions or anyone else really be trusted?
I'm saying we need to convince them at the. We'll see if we can. We'll have to see if we can make sure that they are. We'll get a feel for them, make sure that they are who they are supposed to be, and then make sure that if we convince them that is the move. I don't think we should do that right now because we don't have the proof. But those are the people that we need the queen to be able to tell. So the leader of the White Lions, and we need to figure out what other. There are few influential political figures in a place that is ruled by a king. Weird as that sounds.
Right. I don't know how this works, so you're the one that's going to be a king.
Bro, this has been the wealthiest I have been in the vast majority of my life.
Give us a plan. We go talk to king guys. What else?
So there will be people in positions of power beneath the king. You would perhaps need to discuss this. Like, once you have the proof that Gandalin is indeed rightful king, you would need to perhaps persuade the captain of the guard. That's separate. That's a separate entity entirely from the King's Guard themselves. The King's Guard might not entirely switch over because they could be loyal to the man, not the king. That is assured. They protected him most of their life, allegedly. I couldn't tell you 100%, but that's good reason. There's good reason to believe they will not turn. They will be part of the main force and they will believe wholeheartedly that this is just a plot to assassinate the king or get rid of him. There should be potentially we have very few allies in the crowd. The queen will be, of course, be a great ally if she naysays him, but you still need more. There needs to be other figures in the city that we can turn to, other figures that, with just enough power, might be able to tip the balance. Unfortunately, a lot of my contacts in this city are gone with Yidril and his entirety of his plot. But do remember that we have some of those that fought with us in the city prior against Yidril that may still be in the city. They have their own power, and they might also be able to convince other friends if we bring this to them. But I say to you that most assuredly the book confirming Gandalwin's right to the throne is the most important thing we can bring about to do any of this.
All right.
And therefore, I confess, allow me to go and scout out the floating castle. I'll at least know if there's anti-magic or anything of the sort. I can step into the ethereal, and I will go and check.
All right. In the meantime, we'll see if we can locate where we can find the leader of the White Lions. And to confirm, Jones, is there a separate city guard from the White Lions, or is that also just the White Lions?
White Lions is the city guard.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so we locate that guy.
Who were the guys that were the personal King's Guard then?
The big dudes.
Oh, I thought that there was a different. Did they have a name?
No, there was just those dudes they were just called the King's Guard. There's like three. There are three of them. I believe, is there 3 or 4? I believe there was dude in the red, dude in the black, dude in the blue and white. And was there another multicolored one for 4? No. Okay, so it was just those 3. And then just the White Lions are. They're like the city guard who are like for life. That is what they do, is guard Korth, and enforce the king's will.
Either way, I wish to see about that book. When I step into the ethereal, no matter what happens while I'm out, I will appear right in the exact same spot I left. So please make sure there's no one there when I return.
How does that work here in the mansion? Or do you have to go
I'm not going to do it in the mansion.
Oh, okay.
I'm doing it
All right.
outside of the mansion.
Gotcha. So while you're doing that, leader of the White Lions, somebody we need to make sure we can pin down where he'll be and see if we can determine if he will be trustworthy. And then track down whether they're influential figures as well as those who came from Atur.
Yes.
And see where they might be. I know I spoke to Yana. She said she will probably be here for a day or so before she departs.
Right. Yeah. You should grab those guys that you have like a super good influence with, and maybe have them stick around a bit.
With the Lions Guard, I warn you, I would do it myself, but I will be busy. They, as I said again, may be the most overzealous.
Correct. But
Try not to lay it on too thick.
We don't intend to just jump out and say it right this moment. We just need to know if he is. We need to see if he is loyal to the man or loyal to his oath. That is what we need to know.
And I might also play a card to make myself separate from you and try to ask him to be a liaison with the Shining Vanguard and see if he has anything else up his sleeve. That's something I'll play later. But for now, I'm going to invite you all to step outside, unless you have anything else to say.
If you can, if you can actually get over there and speak to some of those 12 guys, you may be able to tell them, like, spoke to your dude. He's the one who gave the book. Can we count on your support in this? Like, they have to be influential to some extent if they can basically tell the king fuck off.
Let me search first, and then I'll go up in person. I want to at least get a view of the castle.
All right.
Crowley's going to step outside.
Okay.
He's not leaving yet. I'll be right back. I'm going to cast Ascending to my contact in Shar and see if they have... Because when I sent them the intentions of the king to make me a Lions Guard, I wanted to know their opinion on where they would prefer me to be in nature, or if being a Lions Guard is just a little bit more risky, just a little, that's a lot more work.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to hear what their opinion was on the matter.
Sure. Yeah. What do you say to him?
So yes, a follow-up. Has the council or has anyone convened to discuss what I should do in regards to the offer?
Okay. Let's see. Basically, you're wanting to know if they would prefer the identity of Yuri stationed in Atur or in Korth.
Yeah, because obviously they wanted Atur, but the king has offered the Lion's Guard. But that's obviously a lot harder to do with a lot of the anti-magic, which I would have explained prior. But I want to see where their thoughts are and see if they coincide with mine. Might make things easier on me.
Give me a just give me a quick persuasion check and a pug. Yes, send me the pug as well. That will get you advantage on the persuasion check.
Hell yeah!
God, this is an expensive persuasion check.
Look what the dog doing.
Okay, so that's a 17 plus 15.
Jesus fucking Christ.
32.
32. Your abilities have been proven over. I do believe that if you play it smartly, you can remain next to the king in Korth. That would be the preferred location.
No response back. I've heard what I needed to hear, and I don't think they're expecting a response. So we'll just nod, and I'll go back inside.
Okay.
Depending on how long this will take, I'll perhaps try and associate myself with the king more, align my goals with his, and we'll just see if we can garner more information through that. Isn't that right, Pug? Yes. Oh, yes, I came back in with a pug.
Familiar.
Yes, I took that feat somewhere.
You used one of your new magical secrets to take a first level wizard spell.
Yeah, I used the 10th level one to sort that out entirely.
Yep. Hell yeah. Nice.
Anyway, is there anything else you gentlemen wish to discuss?
No, I think we kind of know what we're about to be running around doing here for at least a little bit.
Okay, well, if there's nothing else to be discussed, you guys put your hands in, go break.
Woo!
That's where we're going to go on break. So, don't go anywhere. We're going to take a quick bio. We'll be right back. Much love. Yeah. BRB.
Bye!
And hello, everybody. We are back. Hopefully you are too. We are Hard Knock Dice. This is across Eberron, and this is not everybody that we usually have, but it's the folks that we have today. So we are going to continue. Last we left off, in the first half, our heroes were planning an insurrection, getting a tome of lineages proven by the Meisters of the castle as well, and they are taking that book to some arcane specialists to look into it to make sure it hasn't been tampered with at all. A conversation was held between the king and our Shining Vanguard here. The Shining Vanguard has decided on a property. They are going to take a lakefront property over in eastern Karnath for their reward for saving the city of Atur, or at least part of. A mental conversation was held with the queen, figuring out that she was indeed being held captive by the king and his entourage, sometimes locked within their room. So we now find ourselves in the mansion, the magnificent mansion of the Shining Vanguard, where they have been devising a plan. Someone is going out to the correct me if I'm wrong here, Shining Vanguard. Someone is going out to the veterans and soldiers of Atur to gather them up and to maybe convince them to stay in town for a little while, as they are more friendly to our group here. And then what else was the plan?
Crowley was going to check out Tower of the 12 to see how you would exactly get up to it, as well as like seeing if it had any like weird magical defenses it might have.
Mm-hmm.
We were going to try to locate the captain or leader of the White Lions to see where his loyalties lie, if he was loyal to Caius specifically, or he was just loyal to his oath. As well as we were going to look into seeing if there were other people of influence similarly to Captain of the White Lions within the city that we would want to bring to our side if at all possible.
Okay. With that, where are we going first? Who is going where? And who's going first?
I'll go first.
Sure. I say, since you
Where
were
are you
just
going?
you were blipping.
I will accompany whoever is going to the captain of the watch. The Lion's Guard.
Okay. So where are you going, Crowley? You said you'll go
I'm
first?
going up. Yeah, I'm going to the Castle of 12, wherever that may be.
All right. So leaving Crown Home and heading over that direction, easy enough to follow the streets in that direction. Takes you about 15 to 20 minutes. Not a hard place to find. Floating tower in the sky, rather large structure. What are you doing? When you just to give you a brief description, it does float above the city itself. There are some streets that have a better view of the place, but it floats over the city. There's no like carved out area beneath it at all. Several hundred feet above the ground, a bit. The tower itself probably about the size of the flying fortress that you saw, of all three towers of Yggdrasil that he had. So 200-300 feet across maybe, and at least that tall.
So how far up would you say, just, ballpark?
Quarter mile, maybe. So
that's a couple feet.
I've got time.
The top of it, like, not very visible with the clouds today, but you can see the base of it for sure. The base in several stories. So you're looking around this place. Give me an investigation check.
Strong roll. That will be a 17 total.
17. Looking up, you don't see any apparent entryways or sort of like teleportation pads or anything. There's nothing very obvious in like the half mile by half mile radius that you would cover, which would take several hours to do, by the way. Looking around this area trying to find somewhere obvious, you don't find that.
I'm going to go back to the ship, blending in with the crowd, and I'm going to get on my steed, and I'm going to go up to the clouds, get relatively close, and then I'm going to go in by myself. I'm not going to try and get us like super close, but like more than closer than what a mile would be.
Okay, so your greater steed that you summon, right?
Yeah.
All right. Give me 1 second.
The Pegasus, if I recall.
Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to. Okay. And yeah, absolutely. You hop on your Pegasus, you head off towards the tower.
Yeah, more like I'll go straight up and then across toward the tower, like with the clouds as cover.
Okay, and like trying to get above it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, easily enough. How close are you trying to get to it?
I don't need to be very close. I'm just gonna I could be a mile up if I don't start suffering, breathing problems.
It's cold. It's cold up there, but yeah,
it's cold. I am going to stand up, tell the Pegasus return to the ship, and I'm going to jump.
Where are you jumping to?
Right into the castle. I'm going to cast Ethereal. And we're going to see if there's an anti-magic shield or not. We're going to see what's going on. Actually, you know what? I'll stop myself, and then I'll just glide down after like a 50-foot drop. And then I'll just, because I can control going up and down. Zigzag.
Okay.
Tetris. I look for the L-shaped block.
High or low, Matt?
Let's go high.
Always high, baby. Let's go.
Okay. So I need to have a very clear idea of what you're doing here to understand what happens next. You are about a mile above the tower itself.
Mm-hmm. So, and I'm going to drop 100 feet, and then I'm going to just start guiding go into the ethereal plane.
Okay, so you cast etherealness.
Yes.
Okay. Read the spell real quick. Okay. Cast etherealness and you start drifting down. Clouds themselves sort of disappear and you see beneath you a colorless, weird version of the city of Korth that was beneath you. Slowly sort of drifting after commanding your Pegasus back, and you see shapes, spirits maybe, fluttering within the city, within these clouds. You drop closer and closer, controlling your descent here using this spell on the ethereal plane. As you get closer, you see what looked to be like sentries that are not of the material plane.
Ooh, fancy. See, that's one thing I needed to know.
As you get closer, and I need you to roll me a stealth check.
Nat 20 plus 9.
Okay. While there's no immediate movement towards you, you start to see them start moving their heads around as they were perfectly still before, but have been alerted to something. What are you doing?
I'm taking into mind, like, what that could have possibly been, either some form of alarm or etc. or whatever spell, but I'm still gradually drifting. Though I'm kind of like going off to the side a little bit, like, if I want to just pass by entirely the building, and I'm just keeping my eye on them. I'm trying to take note of how many there are, where they are, etc.
Yeah, give me a quick perception check.
That is a 12 plus 6, 18.
18. You start looking around the castle itself, staying far enough away, so we'll call it, for right now, a couple 100 feet away to sort of avoid their sight, just via distance at the moment, as you look down. But you sort of look left and right, very exposed right here. You're just a floating figure in the sky. But looking down and sort of trying to keep your distance and look down at the tower itself, the tower is sort of washed out. The colors, the tower itself is like just washed out colors, but it seems to have structure here in the ethereal plane, at least somewhat, with that perception check. Defenses, maybe. You can't really tell from this distance. That could be glyphs from here. You're not entirely sure. But these ghostly type sentries that just sort of float and surround the place, in total, you see them floating above and sort of around near where you would see windows and stuff. You see about 15 to 20 of them in total.
All right. I'm going to drift a little bit closer and see what else I can make out in terms of the actual, the real plane. See if I can make out guards or anything like of that sort.
Okay. Give me another stealth check.
Was I muted? 16 plus 9, 24.
24. Okay. Nothing looks your way.
I'm sorry, 22.
22.
Is it? Yeah.
Did you say 16 plus 9?
For a second there, I started doubting myself. I was like plus 4.
25.
Yeah,
25.
Yeah, it's 25. I'm sorry, guys. Math's hard today.
I
need to roll a 20 or else I can't count.
I also feel that.
Yes, 25. Final answer.
None of the ghostly sentries sort of acknowledge your presence at the moment. Looking around this tower, it seems to be very plain in the material world. You're looking around. There are some windows, but they're closed. There's not any doors that you can see. Doesn't seem to have like doors to the outside or access to the outside. You don't see guards posted up on the outside anywhere. But it seems very, very solid. Like it's not meant to be approached like that.
Right. I just want to like start doing a spiral around the building as I'm dropping at this relatively leisure height. And I want to see, like, obviously I haven't seen anyone yet, but I just want to see after going around if I see anyone moving around or on the physical plane while maintaining my best distance.
Sure. I mean, using your perception check from before, glancing in some of the windows that you can see, I'll say you see movement in there. There's some movement in the tower itself.
Okay. But there doesn't seem to be like I don't see anything like a teleportation circle or anything like that from the courtyard view, or if there is a courtyard, I have no idea.
Yeah, no, like I said, this is a fairly solid tower going up. Seeing inside from this far out, just sort of looking through windows, every now and again you see shadows go through, but you don't see You don't see any sort of teleportation circle on the outside or the top or anything like that.
Okay, the last thing I want to do, because this is tempting.
Sure.
It looks like it has structure. Like it looks like it's there, materialized in the ethereal plane. I want to kind of like get close enough to brush a hand against the building, see if like there isn't a physical resistance against it, like against ethereal movement.
Okay. Give me another stealth check.
The strongest one yet. Let's double check that. 12.
12. You get closer at this point, breaking that couple 100 feet mark, get into 100 feet, 50 feet. And all of a sudden, those ghostly figures, about 4 of them, turn in your direction and bring out various weapons in their hands. Spears, swords, shields, and the like. And sort of convene on where you would be approaching from.
That's fine. I kind of want to like keep the dropping momentum, and I want to get my hand against that just to test it, and then pull away as quickly as possible. So, double movement, if I can, you know what I mean, because it is all controlled ethereal movement.
All right, they very much see you and are like interposing themselves in between you and the castle at the moment.
All right, so I thought I was a lot closer. I am going to... What can I do here? They're going to interpose themselves between myself and them. Let me see if I have it. I am going to Dimension Door past them. Because as far as I can see, Ethereal is not a concentration spell. I'm just in the ethereal plane, so I should be able to play by the rules of, magic.
Let's see. I mean, Dimension Door you'd be able to cast normally anyways. I just don't... Etherealness is new to me as well. So on the
I'm put in the plane for the next 8 hours.
Let's ignore all objects. Okay, and you're trying to Dimension Door where?
Right up against the wall, because that's a 500-foot teleport, and that should easily bypass them.
Okay.
Allegedly, DM.
Right, trying to go to a location on the wall where they are not currently.
Yeah, just to get a brush against it, see if it's not reinforced for myself, and then get away. We're playing chicken right now.
Okay. You Dimension Door. Close to it. You touch the wall. And I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Uh, 17 plus 9, sir. Bork.
Very good. That means you have time to react when you touch the side and your spell ends on you and you become a physical form a quarter mile above the ground and you start falling.
I
what are you
put
doing?
Myself into a controlled dive and head toward the ground. I'm hoping I'm going to the town, the actual town, not the city. Unless the wall is on floating ground, I'm trying to go to the actual capital.
Yeah, that is where you're heading right now, as you are just plummeting in air. You have about 6 seconds to decide something that you're going to do.
Oh no, I know what I'm doing. As soon as I get low enough, I'm gonna reach for my loot, flick a hand across it, and just cast fly.
Cast fly.
Yep.
Okay.
And just slide away, get progressively lower. I'm going into an alleyway, stepping out, merging into the crowd, and changing form.
Okay. Give me a stealth check.
$22.
22. You do hear some murmurs on the street. What was that? What was that? Sort of out, but sort of disappearing into an alleyway and going away from those voices onto the other side. Switching your form away from Yuri.
Yes, absolutely. This is going to be random person A, blonde woman.
You can take someone's form off the street. That would be very easy to do. Yeah, you drop through. You said your stealth check was 22?
Yes, sir.
You're on foot, Crowley. You make it about... Where are you heading to?
I'm not heading toward the castle. I'm sort of indirectly making my way to the ship. I'm doing a circle about. I'm not going directly to the ship.
Towards the airship?
Yeah.
Okay. You get looks like we need to do a little quick ban here in the chat. Sorry. There you go. You walk for a couple of minutes. You've grabbed a new identity at this point, and floating from above you and landing on the ground, sort of feet first appearing, light blue energy. You see one of those ethereal figures start manifesting in the material world, and they land like about 30 feet in front of you with a spear drawn.
Are they looking at me directly, or are they looking at... I'm just going to, like, fall back and dimension door 500 feet the other way. Looking back behind me as I choose a point. I'm going to say closer to the wall of the city near the gate.
Okay, so just 500 feet from somewhere from here?
No, so I'm falling back. I'm looking behind me. I see a wall or point of location, and I just dimension door over there. Drop form, use one of my pre-save forms, and we'll try to move again.
Okay. You hear it start to say something, this sort of like echoey, ghostly sound. You dimension door out of there. Gone. Give me another stealth check.
This one's a 26 total.
26. Okay.
Yeah.
You get into like a small nook and alleyway, changing forms again to switch out of it. Start walking. Nothing. No one bothers you.
And I'm not going to try and rush my way through the crowd. I'm just going to, like, stop at a stall, buy something, an apple.
Sure.
And, and while just, I'm not going to look around until, like, after I turn, and then, like, just like I'm trying to get back into the crowd, and then I'm going to let my eyes wander to see if anything's following me. Very casually.
Give me a perception check.
When did Boris's Sausages start selling apples?
Nat 20 plus 6, so 26.
With a nat 20s now? Good grief.
With a natural 20, you look around, you do see floating like spiritual energies in the air. Maybe not completely manifested like the one that was in front of you, but something. You have those sentries that you saw on high alert and looking around.
All right.
They don't seem to notice you though.
All right. Yeah, I'm going to start making my way over toward, like I said before, we're still following this circle around to the airship.
Okay.
And I'm going to cast out Ascending to Gandolin.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah. The castle is heavily fortified. They have sentries in the ethereal, one word, how dare I? And I've lost them, but I'll be heading back to the castle and looking for a normal way in.
I think that's all 25.
Do you mean tower or castle?
That was a tower in the sky, my bad. Castle tower, and you guys know what I meant.
Considering you were heading out to peruse the Tower of the 12.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that's good there. That's secure. If you can find a way in and a way to grant an audience, that would be perfect.
I'm gonna keep that.
Please don't get caught by their guards.
Not me. Not today. Maybe if I run out of spell slots, maybe. But I'm going to get back toward the ship. I'm not going to enter the ship, obviously, but I'm going to pass by like one of the landing zones and then switch back to Major Yuri and make my way back to the castle.
Okay. Right.
My intention is to head back to the library and speak with one of the older gentlemen that I did last night, but, wherever you want to cut me, DM.
Heading back towards the library, and we'll cut over towards whoever's next.
Okay. Here's a question. Are we trying to... I know we're trying to figure this stuff out. Do we want to kind of go to these people one at a time, or do we want to multitask?
Up for anything. How do you guys want to play this?
Well, we're in the castle, so let's locate the captain of the White Lines. See if we can find that guy. Yeah. Well, but safety and numbers and all that.
I was going to say, since Otto is not much of a big planner with little life experience, but a lot of knowledge, DM, would it be feasible for him to be trying to dig into these anti-magic zones and maybe figure out more about them and maybe how to negate them?
Yes, you can be looking into that, and if that's what you want to be doing, I'll get back to you on what you're able to sort of dig up.
Gotcha. When you get back to me, I'll give you, if you want, a little bit more of the idea and process behind it.
Okay.
Behind the intent of that.
Sure. All right. So, Ganowin and who is going to try to find the leader of the White Lines? Arshim?
Yeah.
Okay. Where you? Well, I will say that Ganowin knew this person's name. You saw him on stage with the king when he gave the speech. It's General Yorin Tharum.
Yorin Tharum or Bottom?
Tharum. Thaurum. Tharum. And give me a quick history check.
Myself or
you?
Okay. Alrighty. I'm really good at those. By good, I mean really shit.
This is just for your...
Okay, well, that's in the double digits. 12.
12? Okay. That was to see if you just sort of knew off the top of your head where they would be stationed at. You don't. You're going to have to do a little bit of investigating. Tell me how you plan on doing that. We'll see what the roles are.
Oh, boy.
I will ask a servant.
We're professionals.
Okay. So asking around.
Yeah.
Very well. Give me investigation checks with charisma, please.
Can I aid? We're like, hey man, yeah, we saw him. He was really cool looking, and it's a for life gig. So we figured we wanted to ask the boss guy some questions.
9.
That's at advantage.
It's a straight roll.
Oh yeah, you're still fucking. Oh god, damn it.
Tell me, RTM. Tell me how this could go so poorly.
I should.
I just go. Hey, where does the leader of the Lion Watches guy leave? If I wanted to talk to him off hours or something like that.
I don't know where he lives personally, and I would probably not give that information out if I did.
Why? I just want to talk to him.
That seems very worrisome. And you are a respected guest, but I would refrain from saying that too loudly.
Is it too rude? Should you
It sounds like a threat.
No, I mean, I just want... Does he have a servant I should go through, like other channels or something like that?
In an office?
Right, yeah, like an office, like a secretary.
Here in Crown Home.
Do you have a complaint?
I just need
Sure.
to chat. Okay, yep.
If it means we can talk to him, sure.
That's right, we have a complaint.
Big one.
All right.
Very bad.
I am sorry to hear that. If you give it to me, I will try to make sure that it is handled post-haste.
The complaint is that it's hard to get a hold of him.
Seems very like a circular type of complaint.
Roll a 9. I'm just trying to roleplay.
I don't know, man. I think that seems pretty reasonable. I'm just saying. All right, hey, look. I mean, like you said, we are honored guests. There are matters that are so far above your pay grade that we have been tasked with dealing with by the king himself.
And that is
And we
insulting.
need to talk to General Yoren for those. Where is he? Fucking hell.
Well, now that you have threatened the capital
Wait,
and
There was no
also
threat.
insulted me, I do believe I will be taking my leave. Thank you.
God damn. Shit. We should have waited on Yuri. We're really bad at this.
You're gonna have to clean this place up.
Alright, option B.
How much
People
time are you willing to commit to this?
What was that from Corp?
People are so sensitive.
Hey, it's fucking the parent. I think it's a Korth thing. I mean, everybody wasn't such a giant bitch, and they took. There's a lot more,
I'm still standing right here.
Oh, I thought you said you were leaving.
I think you're lovely. Just sorry.
Jack. Like your suit.
Shit.
It's a dress.
Oh,
It's a very short dress.
Not up on fashion.
Okay, so we are wandering around worthlessly.
How much time are you willing to commit to this? To looking for General Yorenthal?
Needs to be done
In this particular method?
all afternoon. Well, yeah, I mean, eventually someone's got to have a map or something, right? We got to find somebody.
I want to. Is there a waypoint labeled?
Can we wander around the castle until we find an actual Lions Guard?
Well, you can find a while for sure. That's why I gave you the check for the investigation plus charisma. So with a 9, it is going to take you some time to do so. Some time, TM. It was about 12 when all of this started. I'll say by about 4 p.m. you get someone that will direct you somewhere.
Nice.
Man, I hope everybody else is having a more productive day than
eventually you get successful with, oh yes, you're here, and sort of points you in towards a station
Why was
of
this
business.
so hard? Why didn't that first guy not just point this over here? This is
From what
crazy.
I've heard, you're being an asshole to several people.
I have not.
I feel like maybe it is lost in communication. We were trying to be rude, but maybe there was like something with body language we did.
Both of you sound Karnathi, so I somewhat doubt that. But
I'm from Kibar. I was just taught common by Karnathi.
Okay.
I was poor.
This is an excuse?
You rich people are fucking wild.
Who is rich?
Thank you
it's all a
very
matter
much.
of perspective, really.
Literally not allowed to own anything.
You opted into this.
Not much of an option.
Thank you for your help. I appreciate it.
So,
I
like,
see
if
why you have taken so long to get here and other people have not spoken to you. Follow me. If you are not... King's guest, please follow me.
We're right behind you.
Your
Thank you so
armor's
much.
really cool,
I
man.
really appreciate your assistance.
Grunts of disapproval.
I can't wait to be in charge of this guy.
He leads you into this this guard's station and knocks on a door that's slightly ajar, pushes it open. You see an older gentleman sitting behind a desk, sort of paperwork everywhere. He's probably in his, mid to late 60s, probably. He's got sort of white hair that's definitely thinning on top. Pushed back, still in armor though, in the White Lion's armor. And General Yoren Tharm, you saw this man on stage the other day. Sort of like deep sallow cheeks. Definitely seen some tough years here, but sort of gives a direction of putting some more guards on the eastern side of the city and directing a couple of people to be on the lookout on the south rails for the car that blew through here a couple of days ago, and sending some word down to southern Karnath to see if they can intercept that vehicle. But that's sort of what you hear as you're making your way. As General Totem, the King's guest would like to speak to you. Shining Vanguard.
Quick question, DM. Before we actually speak to this man,
Yeah, sure.
I don't know why I didn't think, and I don't know if you want to apply the same history check to this or not. Does General Thorm have any kind of reputation of being like especially honorable, or like being a super hard ass, like he's brutal and enforcing the king's will, or anything along those lines?
Give me another history check.
Oh boy. Better. 14.
14.
We're moving up, getting smarter.
So the White Lands are in Korth specifically, so you wouldn't know a whole lot being from Aetur.
Right. I figured since he was the leader, like more like tales may have been
Right. So
have made their way around.
It would have been very like surface level stuff that you would have heard. Nothing about let's see, with a 14. With a 14, you would probably hear that he's got a pretty heavy undying loyalty to Karnath.
Undying.
Yeah. I'm not what? Yeah, undying loyalty to Karnath. And it would depend on who you heard it from about whether or not he was cruel. Someone that's been on the receiving end of something they probably shouldn't have been doing may call him cruel. Other people would call him just. It sort of depend on who hears it. But I mean, you've definitely heard stories of that. He is sort of a no nonsense type of person.
We are all nonsense. This is a problem. Okay.
Yeah, come on in. Jenny Vanguard, I have been made aware of your presence. How can I help you today?
Well, due to the potential for our goings-on in the relatively near future, they're quite probably going to be... I mean, you're the general of the White Lions. I feel like this will be information that, if it hasn't already been communicated to you, will be. Are you familiar with the Plain of Zoriat? Or does that name sound familiar at all to you? As he thinks about it, I will assume that means the king didn't say anything to him yet.
I am not aware, no.
You already made the king himself aware. Zoriat is the Plain of Madness, and will soon be encroaching upon the material plane here in Corvair specifically. Bad. Lots of tentacles and other bug-related monsters and things. Not good at all. So, because you're a man of military influence, and the king is very busy. He's not familiar with all of like the minutia of those kind of. I don't know what that word means. Heard the robot say it. But we wanted to get your assessment of what may be Korth in general, or perhaps, I guess, if that only encompasses the White Lions specifically, combat prowess and strength in the field against potentially innumerable foes.
Also, they might make your troops go insane. It's kind of their deal.
You'll have to forgive me for... What the fuck are you saying? This is happening soon? This is happening here in Korth?
In many places across Corvair, and considering how big of a deal this is, I understand that your oath is specifically to protect Korth. I can't imagine that warriors of your stature would be able to avoid the fighting.
Avoid fighting against an innumerable foe.
Potentially. Couldn't quite be sure on that, but there will be a lot of them in their bad news.
They will drive my men insane.
Also possibly. And if that information would allow you to have preparations, perhaps that could prevent such a problem. This is the capital. I'm sure you have access to more resources of the magical variety than in other cities for your troops.
Against other men.
Nothing again that could prevent manipulation of the mind or the senses.
Nothing that would be able to be widely distributed. Okay, you bring this to me.
Correct.
To prepare us for a fight that will happen in the next year. You have already brought this to the king.
Correct.
Okay. Then I suppose I will get my instructions from him. The time.
I was not asking for any kind of instruction. I wanted your assessment. Like, this is you manage your men directly. The king, he is very busy. He does many tasks. This is your job.
Defense of the city, sure, but you're telling me there's a potentially innumerable foe that can potentially make my men go mad. You want my assessment against a foe that I've never seen or heard of before?
I think it's a foe that very few people have seen or heard of at all.
How am I supposed to give you an assessment of such a thing?
Not very easily.
I agree. I don't think it, not very easily, I do not think it is possible. An unknowable foe that I have no information on currently. Our walls have stood for hundreds of years and will stand for hundreds of years more against men. I know for sure. If you tell me that Warforged are marching on the wall, I could have a plan drafted for you by this evening. You tell me tentacled bug creatures are crawling this way. What do you expect me to make of that?
Is there any plans that you can? If there's anything that you can do, then maybe start considering the fences of the city from a flying foe, or foes that can crawl along walls.
Sure, I could start these things, but that takes time and resources.
Sure.
Which I can look into as soon as this is made into a credible threat.
Fully intend on... I can't remember. Do we still have the tentacle in the bag of holding somewhere? No. We fucking super giga-fucked that thing. That's right. Yeah, that was a bad idea. I was like, oh wait, we actually might still have.
You have your eyeball.
That came from here. That was here somewhere. That was on this plane.
Sure, but it's still of Zoriat, right?
It's Delkir tech. It's like biotech.
Yeah.
I'm also not just gonna go. You want to look at my eye?
Look, this is crazy stuff.
It is fully our intention to acquire further hard evidence. Because we have not only to convince, yourself as well as Caius, but the rulers of other countries, because there will be incursions everywhere on Corvair.
Do you know?
But we wanted to speak to you. What's up?
Do you know where? You say in Corvair, it's a very big place. Outside of the city walls, inside of the city walls, in the sewers, in the skies, where?
We are associating, there's a gesture over at RTM with the Gushkala, who I know they don't have a heavy presence here in Karnath, but we know of at least one place over in the Shadow Marches, another in... Where the fuck is Azur from?
Azur told you he was from Kibara.
Another in Kibara, and based off of some issues that have happened in the past, somewhere within the holds. The
also, probably from Passage, or just on the outskirts of Passage as well.
Right. Within the Eldritch Grove.
None of which are in Karnath.
Correct, but if left unchecked, their forces will show up in Karnaths within our borders when it is already far too late to be able to win.
So I will tell you this then. You have just given me 5 different fronts that surround Karnath on all different sides, with the exception of to the north, where ocean lies. So you would have me, and you ask for a military assessment, not that I have the authority to do so, but if I did, you would have me split Karnath's armies in 5 different ways to protect the eastern, southern, and western sides of the borders to just stand there, because they could not cross over into other countries without causing a continental crisis of such.
The goal would be to have all of the nations cooperating in subduing this threat. As unlikely as I know that sounds, it is the only way that any of us will make it through.
Unlikely is a word. Not a very choice one at that. You're talking
I like
about
to be optimistic.
Naive is better. These countries have been at war for 100 years. Peace for 4, and only because of the morning.
I think myself and my companions, we are unwilling to just let what is coming happen when there's a potential that we can save not only the people here of Karnath, but of all the nations.
You need to be
Our people have suffered enough.
You also need to be able to start keeping your eyes open for things happening. It might not be a matter of a portal to a different place opening and monsters creeping out, but there could be things starting to happen very strange and slowly. Maybe disappearances or people in power acting differently. If the king, for instance, started acting very strange and doing weird things, that would be something that you would probably need to take note of.
It is possible that they will try to target the monarchs of the nations prior to their invasion. This is information we're going to continue trying to find out. What their methods will be, if they will just make it a land war, if they will try to infiltrate the nations ahead of time.
The simple fact of the matter is we come to you because the king might already be off the board, so to speak, by the time this threat is at your door, if that makes sense.
Because the king, I didn't hear you. Because the king
off the board. He might be off the board by the time this reaches your gates.
Sort of narrows his eyes. How do you mean?
He might be affected by these things, or mind controlled by them. Might do things like send all of their troops to one place that doesn't make sense. I do not know. It's happened before in smaller scales.
I mean this kindly, I do. But you have come to me and you have said, look to my east, look to my west, and my south. And also to look everywhere for threats that could populate anywhere. And you have given me precisely nothing. If you tell me that there is an uprising in the lower left quadrant of Korth, I could squash it within 30 minutes. If you tell me that there is a royalty that needs to be escorted throughout the city, quietly, with no one knowing that they are there, I could do that easily. But you're telling me that there is an unknowable enemy that could be anywhere at any time, infecting our kings and our royalty. I simply say, what would you have me do?
Think on it.
Be ready. I could fathom the possibilities of certain things going wrong that is not very productive with my time. I need something concrete, something that I can plan for. Otherwise, it is conjecture and silly to think about such things.
Perhaps it is. We ask you to keep your eyes and your ears open. You have served for generations of kings, correct? At the very least, King Jaren, yes?
Yeah.
We only are asking to make sure that you can continue to serve in the highest capacity possible. You are the leader of the White Lions. You can make sure that all of the White Lions are keeping an eye out for any strange goings on throughout the city. You can give us a heads up if something looks like if it looks like things are starting to go poorly here in Korth. We will know, and we can act.
Make a persuasion check. You can, one of you can make it with advantage, or one of you can make it...
I would like to make it with advantage. I can have actual advantage. Also, we have the same bonus.
Oh, yay!
Others.
Woo!
And DM, I don't know when you want me to roll this. I kind of wanted just this entire conversation to be getting a feel for his reactions to stuff, like if he seemed to be more. How much? And I've kind of gotten a general sense from kind of some of the stuff he's been saying. 16 for the persuasion check.
Okay. Finish your thought.
I'm wanting to roll an insight on the majority of this conversation, trying to see when he's reacting to things, where his motivation seems to lie. Like so far, he hasn't said shit about Caius at all. So I feel pretty good about it. But where it seems to be like his concern for his duty is his concern and duty for protecting this city, and just the royalty in general. Or it doesn't seem like he is concerned only for like that's like he's spouting, you know, his party line, but he really is loyal to, like, he seems to only be concerned about Caius.
I'll give you the role, but you're gonna have to give me a question that gets to the core of that issue.
Right.
A question or statement to provoke a reaction from him.
Okay. What were, I guess, yeah, I'll do that after the results of this persuasion check.
Sits there and mulls over your words for a few moments, not very long. He doesn't leave you sitting there. If this is a worldwide threat, and I have the means to get in touch with you, if I notice or any of my men notice that something maddening is happening, I would have no problem reaching out to you, letting you know I have heard of your deeds in Aetur, and would not be opposed to having you on our side if it came to fighting something like that.
So when it comes down to it, Caius inhabits the seat now, and the people of this city inhabit it now. There will be many kings after he has passed. There will be many other people that are here within this city. Other people will inhabit your role, but if this fails, then there won't be. There will be no more kings for the White Lions to guard. There will be no more citizens for them to protect. And that is the statement I'm trying to gauge that off of.
Okay.
Can I give him advantage in asking him on top of that somehow? Right, the king that you have now, I would try to make sure to keep an eye on them, because if they get infiltrated, you're the only hope the city has. If you feel comfortable with that.
Is RTM trying to be subtle with that right now? Because I'm in the know of what the plan is, that seems very overt. But if you're trying to be subtle, I'm going to give you a deception check.
I'm legitimately just saying, like, hey, I'll fucking roll deception.
Okay, all right, I'm gonna roll an insight.
Joe, let's go. 18 and 19.
Okay, your DC is 21. What's your total?
19.
19. Is there something that I need to be made aware of that you are trying to hint at the moment?
Can I get my insight check before we answer that question?
Yeah, roll an insight check.
Oh, God. 27.
Oh, shit.
27.
19 plus 8.
And you're trying to understand what?
Basically like my statement said when I said, there will be many kings after Caius, but there will be many citizens, but there will be no more kings and there will be no more citizens if this fails.
Mm-hmm.
I basically want to see if he gives a shit about what comes after. Like, does he care about those future generations, those future kings and those future citizens, or is it Caius? Is it Caius to whom he owes his loyalty?
I'm going to say you get an answer or like a bit of an insight that you don't quite expect, because it's not a yes or a no. It's more of a he reaches up and touches like the crow's feet at his eyes, like heavy, deep set lines and wrinkles on his face for a moment, as if it wasn't a consideration because he expected Caius to outlive him. That what comes next isn't
doesn't matter.
What's not that it doesn't
or not
matter,
that doesn't
but
matter, but out of his hands.
Yeah, exactly. That he has no control of what happens after, and that he expected the next few years to be it for him. Like, these are his sunset years, and now you're telling him all this stuff, and it's like, I'm gonna have to fucking hang on for a little bit longer. Like those thoughts are weighing pretty heavily on him. But I'll say you do get that. You get the thoughts of, I'm gonna have to claw into what I can, and to muster up the energy I can to do what I can.
Okay. So, and then and then
he has
to Artyom.
Correct.
Are we is it just the three of us in his office?
I'm gonna punch him. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. No. You guys are alone. The door is open at the moment. It hasn't been closed behind them, and you got a guard standing outside. But yeah, the door's open.
I will exchange a look with Gandalf.
I'm just gonna look at him. Would it be possible for us to have a word in private? And just kind of glance back at the door. Just myself and you, if that is what makes you comfortable.
Make another persuasion check.
Fuck.
Not an advantage.
Yep.
At quadruple advantage. Roll 5 dice. Take the highest.
That fucking those +1 working hard today.
Hey man, talking to people.
Yeah, I'm not good at it.
Oh no.
I'm gonna go ahead and say your DC's not high just because.
Oh, it doesn't matter. I doubt it's this low.
3.
Oh no.
I rolled a natural 1, but his insight check would put it over a 3.
I figured.
Flash of Genie.
As far as I know, it's just Artyom and Gandalf in this room right now.
Yep.
And, oh yeah, you're not here. You're back in the castle trying to learn anti-magic stuff.
That's why it was funny.
Anti-magic.
That's why it was funny.
Your camera's being anti-magicked right now.
And the whole internet is being anti-magic right now. None of you have moved on my screen for like the last half hour.
Oh wow.
You're not moving right now, and you're made of Play-Doh, if it makes you feel any better. Anyways, General Thorum looks over you both, considers you for a moment. Why are you here? Speak clearly and plainly.
I will look at Gandalf and say in his brain, "Do you think we should tell him?" They say we tell him.
And that's just like, yeah, that was the plan. They just didn't want to do it with the door wide open.
Can we close the door before we speak plainly and openly?
You have already put me on edge by your questioning.
All right. I'm just gonna glance back at those two, and I'm just like, can I still respond to you, Artyom, or how does your mental thing work? Can I do
yeah,
I get multiple?
I'm not doing anything, so I can use an action so that you can respond back.
Okay. Keep an eye on those two behind us. If they try to like book it or something, be ready.
And like I said, this isn't a small, tiny office or anything.
Right, still.
But you guys are in an office. The door is slightly pulled to, but is not completely closed. So.
Gotcha. Okay, well, so it's not wide open. Okay.
Cool. That makes much better.
Better, yeah. Are you familiar with the daughters of Sorkel, the rulers of Zoroam?
I mean, he's in one capacity or another.
You bet you know of them enough.
Sure.
That's outside of just fairy tales and stories.
I have not met them on the battlefield, thankfully, from what I hear. So,
when when King Jaren passed, there was a bit of a to-do about where to find an heir.
I remember.
And then Caius was located. With a lot of backup, a lot of proof. Yes?
Indeed. The king's bastard.
Well, we are here because he was placed here by the daughters of Sorkel. Or he's been produced by them. Was produced by them. In lieu of King Jaren's actual bastard, who fled after the daughters insisted that for their assistance, they would want to marry him. One of them.
He just sort of looks in between both of you. There have been rumors of which I have been in charge to quash.
This is your duty.
And I assume you come here with proof of such a claim.
We come to speak to you. Does you be open to receiving such proof? We came to see whether you're loyal. What's that?
He stands up.
Just to finish my sentence, to see whether your loyalty was to your oath or to Caius.
Walks around you, walks to the door. Sergeant, take your lunch. Closes and locks the door behind him.
Yeah. Go eat something. Damn.
Go get that specialty. That store.
Great place.
The door clicks shut. He casts power word kill on each of you.
Haha! I have over 100 HP. Fuck you.
Oh no, I have 95 HP. Fuck.
Goes back, sits down after doing that. Sort of sits his hand on his sword. What proof would you have?
I believe that the title that was on the book was The Tome of Lineages of the Kings of Karnath, leading all the way back to Karn the Conqueror.
And this
leading
is
all the
word of a book.
The word of a book, as well as the word of Queen Etragani, as a captive of both the daughters of Sorkel and Caius' reign, and of House Rudik, who have served faithfully for a long, long time.
Hmm. The sole member remaining of House Rudik, Pietro, has been reported missing as of this morning. It's unfortunate timing for your claim. Or perhaps fortuitous for you.
Just fucking sighs. Okay, maybe we should. Okay. He can be like that point. He believed his life was in danger.
He hasn't believed his life is in danger for so long. Until you show.
Until he decided to explain what had happened to my father and why he had been killed by the daughters of Sorakel. He was murdered for fleeing from their marriage proposal.
Your father?
Yes.
So, you.
I'm sure you were thrilled at the prospect.
Sort of looks you over for a second. And the Queen plans on backing your claim as well.
Yeah. Once we were able to secure her safety and get her away. Or, if you prefer, we leave her in your hands. If you think that will be...
If you attempt anything on the crown before something is proven in front of the eyes of Korth and Karnath, I will have no options but to stop you with every bit of force that I can muster. I will not have my city tear itself apart. I will not have you lead it doing that. I'm not going to involve myself into something like the deposing of a king. However, if such a thing is proven and is accepted by the city as truth, much as the way Caius's rise was, and the city backs such a claim, and my city will not tear itself apart in rebellion or riots devolve into chaos. That makes my job easier.
General. I do not wish to bring Korth or its people to harm for this. But
if you didn't, then you would let this go and you would leave and you would never mention this ever again.
Unfortunately, I do not think that Caius is going to have the best interests of Karnath and her people at heart when this threat comes. I think he is an ambitious man, and I think that he will cling to his power however he must. And if the people that hold his leash say that they do not want him to involve Karnath's armies in this conflict, then he may do so. And that is not something I can risk.
But you. You will
If
do
I
it
must.
differently.
What do you say? I'm sorry.
You will do it differently.
I plan to do everything in mine and the Shining Vanguard's power to quash this threat before it becomes an actual invasion. And if it comes to that, I plan to do what I must to lead Karnath's armies in that battle in order to preserve our nation. I will do my duty.
One last persuasion check.
I don't want gonna fight this old man. He's gonna embarrass and sell me my ass. Fucking rocked.
Can I get? Oh, did you already roll?
I already rolled.
He hasn't said his result.
I was going to attempt to give him advantage.
Tell me how.
The Shining Vanguard is trying to save the world. Every bit of it, Karnath included. And not 5 days ago, 6 days ago, I put my life on the line for your people and lost it. I don't know what better proof you could have of me wanting to. The Shining Vanguard, Gandalf, for wanting to protect your people.
Roll it at advantage.
Hey!
Thank God.
Hey, there you go, Tim.
Dropped a 3 for a 13, so for a total of 14.
Oh,
So
shit.
not great, but way better.
It's 10 spot higher.
Not a persuasive guy.
You have 48 hours to prove your claim and prove to me that it will not tear apart my city. After that 48 hours, you will either abscond from court and never come back, or I will handle you and ensure that you do not.
We'll get your proof, but if we don't, I just ask that you please keep an eye out for what we've discussed previously.
Leave.
May our next meeting be a happier one. Good day, General.
You guys head out. Pan the camera away from you guys as you leave. Gorm, is there anything you got going on, man? Is there anything you want to be doing?
I was with them at one point.
Oh.
That's all I'm gonna say. But we had a short conversation before when they were talking to some servant.
Gotcha.
That's true.
Oh.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, if you're
not really.
Okay, if you're in there with them, that's fine. I don't think it alters the conversation unless you have something that you want to add.
Big
Nope.
hammer.
Okay.
Just standing there, just like.
All right. Otto, we cut to you working away inside of the magnificent mansion, I assume.
Yes.
And what are you doing?
Although I am not sure if you would need to step out to evaluate the borders of the anti-magic areas, but the foundation of the theory at the moment is an anti-magic area like that would have to exist like from something, right? So either there's some kind of like catalyzing material that makes for the foundation of the area, or there's some kind of power source that is keeping it going, or something. And basically he is going to be trying to identify what is causing and or maintaining the anti-magic zones.
Okay.
And then that would be step one, and then step two would be figuring out how to nullify or counter it.
Right. Okay, step one, we're gonna see how that goes for you. Step one, because in order to do such a thing, you need to observe them. And in order to observe them, you need to be in areas where Otto should not be. So, tell me how you plan on observing these, because the anti-magic zone that has been described to you, at least the location thereof, is immediately outside of the king's quarters.
Was that the only one that he knows the location of?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Being the case, he felt others where there were just dead zones, and because he did a primeval awareness, and the primeval awareness just dropped in some locations, but he has no way of identifying exactly where those are. That they were just in the castle somewhere.
Gotcha. Figured it would be something along those lines. So the immediate plan is to use the familiar with invisibility cast on it to get the up close observation.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna roll. Go ahead and roll the stealth check with advantage. I'm gonna be rolling perception checks at disadvantage.
Sick. Let me actually pull up the not actual dragonfly, but hawk stat block.
Drop the 20. So.
Hell yeah.
Well, I dropped the 3, so.
Hell yeah. Woo! Them dice be rolling.
That'll be a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Okay. Give me an investigation check for the familiar. For finding the location.
Gotcha. Since I am actively observing through the familiar's eyes, and it is not the familiar's observation, do I get to use my investigation proficiency?
No, because it's going to be further than 100 feet away from the villa. So unless you are staying 100 feet behind it, which isn't going to give you a whole lot of stealthiness, because you're going to be 100 feet away from it, that'll be you rolling a stealth check too.
Gotcha. Okay. I thought I would have like hang out around a nook or something, or around a corner, but if I can't do that, then yeah, it would be the familiar. All right, not a negative at least. That is only going to be a 12 because it is a negative.
Okay.
I think. There's one last thing I want to double check real quick. Sorry for the time. Okay, yeah, it is only a 12 because of the penalty.
What'd you say?
Oh, I must have been muted still. It is a 12 with the penalty.
Okay, 12. Where is Otto during this process?
If he can't be within 100 feet for direct observation himself...
I'm not saying you can't be. I'm just saying if you are, you're going to be rolling a stealth check too.
He's not going to try and sneak.
Yeah, it's going to place you on the same floor as the king's quarters, essentially.
And there's nowhere on the floor. Okay, I guess I thought I could be like down the hall and around the corner and be okay.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. You can be, but it's going to put you on the same floor as the king's quarters. So I would need a stealth check from you as well.
Well, that's what I'm saying, is if he's going to have to sneak, he's not going to do it. I thought I could be like down the hall and around the corner and it be kosher. So if that's not the case, then he's going to be probably all the way back in outer quarters.
Okay. So back in the villa, sending the familiar up and investigating on its own, following the directions of that Gandalf gave you, at least sort of the general direction of it, at least. And
to preface it, the focus is on caution. So if anything gets risky, if it looks like it's going to be detected or whatever, we're not going to take any risks. We're just going to bounce.
Okay. All right. The 12 on the investigation check, I'd like you to give me... Let's see here. Give me a dexterity saving throw if you're familiar.
Noted. Where are you at? Stat block. Alright. At least we got a bonus. Also a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Good.
That +3 working hard.
Which means what will be communicated back to Otto after we go back to Otto, but in his familiar's form, invisible, using a solid portion of the hour, like 45 minutes almost of the hour, going upstairs and sort of fluttering around the halls, getting lost down a dead end, turning around. The dirty 20 is good, meaning that as soon as it gets to the glyphs that are on the ground for the anti-magic zone, it doesn't fly past them and immediately inactivate and just fall down to the ground. Fluttering back away from them, though, eventually you have about 15 minutes or so. You see that there are glyphs etched into stone around the king's quarters, giving it probably your familiar not able to move past this point. But looking down the hallway, you do see one of the King's Guard. At this point, it will be the guy in the orange and red armor. And I need you to roll another stealth check as I look at something.
What time of day is it?
We've flipped back a little bit from you guys, so it's like 2 or 3 or so.
What is the context for seeing the guard? Like, how close is it? Is he walking in this direction, or is he just standing there?
He is standing in front of a couple of doors that are about 40 feet down the hall from your from your familiar.
And has the familiar at this juncture gotten a good look at the glyphs?
It is getting to them. This is like it flying up to those glyphs.
Just getting to
that's
them.
the like dexterity saving throw to not fly past it. Fluttering of the wings to stop from flying across that boundary. Rolling the stealth check.
A third dirty 20 with a 2 and a 17 on the die.
Okay. Dexterity saving throw. The wings. And what tip of the wing hit a stone column off to the right and makes the tiniest tink sound on the side of the stone column to its right. The slow head turned from the guard, looking in that direction. Just
we are taking 0 risks. It's out. And as soon as it gets in range to communicate with me at all, we're gonna poof it back.
Okay. All right. So you feel that connection being made 100 feet. You can poof it back at any time, at any range. I'm pretty sure with Find Familiar.
Right, but I'm not gonna. Otto isn't going to necessarily know that it needs to be.
So it gets within that 100 feet range for telepathic bond, and then bringing it back to you. It will relay all of that information to you. The quick information that it did get is that they were glyphs on the ground engraved into stone.
Gotcha. With his remaining time until someone contacts him or someone returns, just with his wealth of knowledge, sans experience, he will be trying to theory craft, with what context he does have, going over the possibilities and trying to figure out how those might work.
Okay. Just on how to nullify an anti-magic zone.
Yeah, how to nullify an anti-magic zone that is operated by an independent glyph, and also trying to answer the question of, can he even exist and function being a being of magical power within those realms, or would he just completely go down?
Give me an Arcana check.
I'm just pulling up the character sheet real quick because I accidentally closed it. Go ahead and roll it. I think that's a 29 because I think I have a plus 15. But we will find out momentarily. Yes, it'll be a 29.
29. Okay. You are fairly certain with a 29 that you yourself would go ahead.
I was gonna say, and I'd like to toss a flash of genius on that and bring it up to a 33.
33. You're fairly certain with a
34. My bad.
With a 34 that makes a huge difference. The DC was 34, so with a 34, you're fairly certain that you yourself would still be able to function past the lines. You do not think you would be able to you don't think that any of your auxiliary functions, i.e. your spells, i.e. your magical items, i.e. anything other than your basic motor functions that are governed by a mechanical nature, would function past those lines. That anything summoned would immediately dissipate, so your familiar would have out of existence. You would have had to resummon it. No magic, no spells on the other side of the other side of this area. There is not something with a 33. It is not a matter of dispelling magic, and it itself is not like a spell producing this effect. It is the absence of it and the void of magic on this side. Those runes would stop any spell that traveled towards it, at it, targeting it, anything like that. So in order to disable something like that, it would be a matter of physical disruption.
So the runes themselves have to be destroyed.
Yes, and even with a 34, you're not sure the extent of where those runes go, because the runes that your Kestrel saw cross the entirety of the hallway. So you're not sure.
And it's not a matter of like, oh, go ahead, sorry.
I'm just saying your Kestrel just saw them go across the hallway. You don't know if that is it, like it's just protecting the hallway and anything past this point, or if those go further into the wall, around the walls, like on the insides of walls or rooms that are on the other side of them.
Gotcha. I think I was mainly going to ask, like, it's not a matter of just like breaking one in the chain and it disrupting the overall thing.
Right.
Okay. Gotcha.
Okay. I'm going to let you ruminate on that because your mic is bass boosty as fuck right now. And I will, we're actually at 9 o'clock. So, we have a lot more to do, it seems. So Shining Vanguard and everybody else here, thank you for joining us. Thank you for playing with us. We're gonna hop out of here for the night. Hope you enjoyed tonight's session. I know I did. We are Hard Knock Dice. We stream every Monday every Monday. Oh, not Mondays anymore. Every Wednesday and Saturday. Wednesdays we do Blood and Silver, TM'd by our wonderful Otto here. So come check us out there. There's lots of stuff going on right now. Their child has been kidnapped and emotions are high, and I fear for the safety of anybody that gets in between them and
Fireball.
Their little adopted child. Oh God. Anyways, it's really cool. Y'all should definitely go check it out, and everything's up on YouTube to catch up. Then on Saturdays, we do this across Eberron from at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Blood and Silver on Wednesdays. So drop a follow on here if you'd like to know when we're going live. Follow us on Twitter, TikTok, all those good things. And don't forget, if I can get an ! charity in the chat, we are raising money with Extra Life. So do some good in your life. Go donate some money and help out a kid. We're going to raid some friends. Let's raid some friends over at, let's do Hope for TTRPGs. We're going to raid those guys. I'm going to go ahead and get that started. Did I miss anything? think it's
Facebook.
anything. No, we don't have a Facebook.
Find us on Facebook.
MySpace, OnlyFans.
We don't have any of those.
Whoa.
Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok. Follow us on those.
Steam.
And until next time, guys, much love. Much love. Bye.
Origin?
TikTok.
You play?
Second Life.
Yes to TikTok. Yes to TikTok.
World of Warcraft Guild, join it.
Wow, yeah.